Hey everybody, welcome to the 2017 ICC Open. I'm Grandmaster Eric Hansen, and I'm happy to be here presenting the knockout tournament starting about right now. 32 players, and today we're going to see who the final four are, and it's a knockout tournament, so every single match that we'll be following, one player is going to get eliminated no matter what, which I think is still an underutilized format in chess. Usually, each round will be following one game from a match, and if that game finishes early, then we'll follow another one. But there will be multiple games going on, and we'll be picking a certain game. So feel free to type in the chat if there's a favorite player. I want to get a good feel for what the crowd is looking for. But some big names playing: Ding Liren, Alexander Grishuk, Ralph Mamedov, Jeffrey Chong, a lot of very international crowd. The only thing in common is they're all very, very good blitz players. So, but otherwise we have a very mixed field this year, which should be interesting. Defending, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, we got to look at Grishuk, probably in round one, the defending champion. Definitely the most experienced blitz player in the field. But I'll be mixing it up. So the games are just starting now. Let's see. We're going to be watching the match between Grishuk and an FM from Russia, a 16-year-old David Gordetsky, who won a qualifier because there were some invited players. Most of the players playing today did have to perform well at a qualifier. And he was one of them. Okay, let's get this game started. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. So this is Gordetsky playing white against Grishuk, and each match in the knockout is a 4-game match. So 2.5 points wins the match. Looks like right now they have a c3 Sicilian on the board and bishop d2 with the idea of just playing knight c3 and not compromising your pawn structure. So this is just one of the many lines in the c3 Sicilian. Bishop d2, a6, b5. A big time edge here for Gordetsky. I generally prefer black in just isolated pawn positions or c3 Sicilians. But in blitz, white gets, one of the features of the opening is white gets an initiative, gets a lot of attacking potential over here on the king side, and it's definitely a lot harder to handle. It's definitely more effective, I think, in blitz as white than in longer games because, white does take some weaknesses in the pawn structure for this initiative. Let's go back a few moves. Let's see. So, knight d5, bishop e4, rook c1, and probably, something like queen d3, h4, all possibilities here. Knight c4, bishop d3 on the board. This is an excellent bishop. The one on d3. So white doesn't mind giving up the bishop on d2. Still allows, partly because there's not a lot of choice, but it still allows white to get going over here. But the moves are coming in quick. So e takes f6, bishop takes f6, bishop g3. So minute 50 to a minute 5 right now. H5 on the board. If white can get on this diagonal between B1 and H7, you'll be very, very happy. Oh, what's happened here? I mean, right now, Grishuk does not have a very easy position to play in blitz. But as the time goes down, remember the time control is 3 zeros, so if you're low on time, you're never coming back up. Bishop E4. Okay. Traded. Trades are very good for Grishuk because of the time situation, and black has a better pawn structure. I mean, C3 is probably the weakest pawn on the board. E6 is still weak as well. But if you're playing black here, you just want to avoid getting checkmated, allowing your younger opponent to get sort of the initiative. So I think trades here are definitely in favor of Grishuk. But I don't know a lot about his opponent. Queen A2. Rook C4. I mean, looks like an extra pawn. Black is... Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, it's simply a point here where Grishuk is down to 20 seconds. There's no increment. So he's just got to make pre-moves, essentially. They just trigger on G3. Oh, the moves are... Jeez. Black is down in exchange here, low on time. I mean, it looks like he's just going down in round 1. If I'm not mistaken here. I mean, 9 seconds. Trade queens. You're going to... I mean... And the queens are off, even though this is objectively a draw, because a knight and a rook... Sorry, a knight and a pawn for a rook is probably enough to hold. Grishuk has no time. And then... So... He's going to get flagged here. I mean, a big upset. I mean, you can even tell their ICC ratings. Grishuk goes down. I mean, that was kind of surprising to me that he just got so low on time. Because in the time control, you just can't afford it. It's not 3-2, which is very common these days. We're going to jump to another game, but already the defending champion goes down to David Gordetsky, a FIDE master from Russia, one of the top juniors in Russia. So that still says a lot. But it wasn't like he got outplayed and crushed. He definitely, the position was very tactical, but he in some ways, but way too slow. Is this game going on? Let's see what happens. This game looks like Black's king is cut off. White should comfortably win this endgame. And Credence, who is Credence? That's Melkumian from Armenia. Something happened in that game. Okay. I think all the games are done right now. It makes sense because they should all finish around the same time. So in the match we are following, it's in this best of 4. Grishuk, the defending champion, who really beat a very strong field last year, is already down a game. Oh, 1 sec. Are they making moves here? Let's see. Follow Depresniak. So games are just starting here. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There it is. There's the game. Okay. Okay, so see the time situation now is not as extreme as last game, but again, Black has a very decent position from Kingmate, aka Gordetsky. Even though he's got hanging pawns, I mean, that's not as bad as double or isolated pawn. If you manage, Black controls a lot of the key central squares, c4, d4, e4, all under control. So White's playing from the back and hoping to trade off some pieces. When you trade off some more pieces, the hanging pawns get a bit weaker. But in the middle game, I mean, as far as I can tell, he's still doing okay. The good thing about this position is a position where Grishuk doesn't really need to spend a lot of time, and he really shouldn't. I think the plan is clear. You know, get rid of the knight on d3, put some pressure on the c file. Maybe, I mean, yeah, you got to find a good square for your rook on f1. You got to put your queen on a1. Got to get that knight away from d3. So queen e2. Queen e2 is fine. The question is this knight trapped? Is this an early knight trap? Where's the knight going? c4 doesn't. Yeah, I mean the knight can't move anywhere right now, but it is defended. So one thing we learned from the first game, if you learned anything at all, it's that you have to play fast. You're going to lose on time. There's no way when you're down to a few seconds that you can just pre-move and save your time. No matter what, you still lose 1/10 of a second, even if you pre-move. So you just cannot allow yourself. It's just one of those things. So knight f1 and c4 is forced. Knight d4 on the board. Queen a6. So now the knight on d3 can escape to e5 or c5. Grishuk took once, plays knight d2. He's threatening knight takes c4 and queen takes d3. So maybe knight e5 here. I mean, you don't want to take on a3 because knight takes c4 hits your queen and allows white to get a sort of double attack on the d3 knight. So knight e5 is on the board, and time is even. Well, clearly the event is stronger than I even expected in some ways. That in the first round, and you know, 32 players, 1 against 32, 2 against 31. I think Grishuk is seeded number 2 in the field, defending champion. He's playing the 31st seed by FIDE rating, and it's not been easy at all. And it's getting pretty clear that he needs to play better than he's been. Otherwise, this match is going to go down to the wire. And I mean, we'll see how good his bullet skills are, because this game is already entering the time trouble phase. But Grishuk has, he did pick up that c4 pawn eventually. After knight h6, Black's only move to defend that pawn is rook d7, e5 on the board. It's definitely starting to look better and better for Grishuk. He's up 9 seconds on the clock. Knight h5, king h2 probably. He did play king h2. And after king g7, knight f5 check. And the idea is take, and you throw in this check, and you've just won another pawn. Is that on the board? It's going to be on the board. So, or he could have done that. Maybe he. So this way, Black can actually get 2 knights for a rook, but the king ends up being exposed too much. So king h6. Whoa, what just happened here? So let's see. King G6, Knight H4, Knight F3. Okay. This is just absolutely for white. Yeah. And it's checkmate. Checkmate next move. Rook E8 check. So Grishuk equalizes the match. Yeah, once you get 2 pawns on the 6th rank and you got a rook there, not really anything you can do. So, okay. I mean, even this game, I think this game was pretty even for most of it. And Grishuk, by the way, did use his London system, which was maybe his favorite blitz opening. Didn't get best position, but he got an easy to play position, which, I mean, he was never worse. It was just sort of pretty competitive until he won that pawn. All right, so that's 1-1. See some other notable results. There's a couple Argentinian grandmasters playing, Federico Perez Ponza and Alan Pichot. They're both pretty good at blitz. I've both played them quite a few times. Let's see who else. Is there any? It looks like also a couple of Azeri grandmasters, Mamedov and Abbasov. There's so much chess going on right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of the players playing in this tournament are, outside of home. They might be at a tournament or something, because there's a lot of chess tournaments going on. Very, very busy time. So after 2 rounds, it's 1-1 in the Depresniak-Gordetsky match, which is about, David Gordetsky's definitely he's 2,400 FIDE, probably getting the IM title anytime, right away. He's probably qualified or applying for the title. But even then, 2,400 FIDE and Grishuk is 2,750. That really is a big gap. So we might have discovered a pretty strong blitz player through this tournament. So let's find the Depresniak game right there. Okay. So they have already started. Of course, the opening phase has gone by pretty quickly in a lot of these games, because you got to get a time edge if you can. Can't really spend time in the opening when you have no increment. So this looks like it was a Joko piano, and it was. Let me quickly show you the moves. This was seen in Carlsen Karyakin all the time, a lot of games here. And, well, if there is an opening that Grishuk has a big experience advantage over his opponent, this is one of them. Because this is played more at the top levels than any other area, I would say. So white has traded off the bishops on e3, taken this, a different pawn structure. Has the open f file, but the pawn is on e3, d3, and c3. You want to play d4 at some point. So let's see what happens. But queen takes b2 on the board. I mean, queen b6 was a fork, and Gordetsky decided to sacrifice because he could have played queen c1, defending both b2 and e3. So after queen b2, this is pretty critical. This looks, I mean, the queen's going to go back to b6 if you don't attack it. But I mean, queen takes c3 is a threat. So I think Grishuk take that pawn. I think his decision is totally correct. Yeah, Gordetsky plays knight e4. Maybe a5 here. A knight d6. So knight d6, I'm expecting rook f8. Just to cover the f7 square, but maybe there's something more precise like rook e7. Time situation, I mean, Grishuk is up 20 seconds. Remember, the match is tied 1-1, and first person to get to 2.5 points in the 4-game match, I mean, then it's just over. But there are tie breaks. That's one thing we're going to be seeing today is 4-game matches, and if it's tied 2-2, then 2 more. So we could have some 10-game matches, or even longer. But in this game, it looks like Grishuk is up a pawn as long as he completes development, maintains his current time situation. White has a good position, everything, except the problem is he's down a pawn. He's traded queens. He wants to play a5. He wants to play the position, even though down a pawn, the a5 pawn controls sort of freezes up black's queen side. So that's where some compensation is. Knight b4. Okay, king mate, aka David Gordetsky, definitely needs to play a bit quicker here. You know, when you're down a pawn and you know you're in a worse position, you have to sort of utilize the clock as a way to sort of catch up. You know, because on position, he's not gonna catch up or win that pawn back by force. So I definitely think he should be playing quickly now, playing annoying moves, and waiting for Grishuk to sort of get in time trouble and maybe overextend. So 45 to 120, that's a 35-second edge and a pawn. Grishuk is well on his way to winning this game and taking the lead. I love his username, by the way, Depresniak. I guess he's had that for a very long time. I'm not sure if it means what it sounds like, something to do with, you know, in English, like being depressed. It's a Russian word, I'm pretty sure. But it seems to be like a pretty cool and creative handle. Yeah, rook b3. Black is finding lots of juicy squares for those pieces. Bishop on e6 is a fantastic blockader. Can't be kicked out since he's covered g5. Slowly but surely, Grishuk still 30 seconds up on the lead. He's just won an exchange. Rook takes b4, and you have an option now. Bishop takes c4, or you take the rook. And instead he took the rook, which, you know, is a standard move. But he did actually have more options than... looks like everything was playable. Okay, well, I mean, this is just all about converting. You're up in exchange as black and a pawn. There's really no excuse. That pawn's on b2. The moves are coming in quick. Rook a8, rook c5, rook a1 is coming. Then rook d1, rook c1. A queen is coming on the board very soon. Check on... So the 9 seconds to 17, though. It's evened up, but the pawn on b2 should really determine the game and the exchange, for that matter. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there goes everything. As long as you don't flag as black, you're golden. And this game is over. Looks like Gordetsky resigned. I mean, you're just going to get checkmated very quickly. But, you know, if he survived a bit longer, then it really would have been a bullet sort of time scramble. But no, Grishuk maintained the lead in this game and converted. So 2-1. 2-1. It looks like the scare might be over. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe he just sort of woke up in the first game, because he really just lost because he was too slow. But the last two games have definitely been an improvement. Has the next round started? Looks like some games started late. What round are we on? So the match we're following is still ongoing. Grishuk is up 2-1 over Gordetsky. Their usernames are Depresniak and Kingmate. But in the meantime, while we wait for that, we will follow another match. What happened here? This is Safarli against Bortnik. Are they in the tournament? I think they are. Pretty sure these guys are also in the tournament. Yes. Safarli and Nedwis is... Oh, they're not. That's not a tournament game, is it? Safarli's in the tournament. Chris Savchuk, he's one of the highest FIDE rated players in the event. Okay. Oh, it is a tournament game. Nedwis is right there. I missed it. That's Bortnik, but it's not. It's not Alexander Bortnik. It's his brother, and I'm not even very good at pronouncing the name. Mikola. I was just getting my looking at the list, and I've played Mikola a lot online, but he's an IM. His brother's a GM. However, they're both extremely good at bullet and blitz. Here, it's not going to save you too much when you're down a full piece and a pawn, and your opponent has as much time as you. So this is a match ongoing. Let's see the score of this match, actually. Safari's up 2-0. So it looks like this match is going to be over. Even a draw secures qualification into the next round. Matches of 4, so first to 2.5 wins. He's up 2-0, and he's playing black, and he's up just a full piece here. So Nedwis, aka Mikola Bortnik, might be one of the first guys eliminated. We'll have to get an update later, but this would be unreal if somehow Safari, up 10 seconds, blunders this game. No, well, I mean, maybe the easiest way to win is just to push that c-pawn, play bishop b3, kick the rook, and slowly push the pawn, but everything and anything wins. So it looks like Safari is just going to bring the king up to support the pawn. Yeah. And there's nothing White can do about it. c2 played immediately. Probably rook c3 next. This game is over. Is this going to be a mate? I'm pretty sure this one's going to end in checkmate. No, king can run to g7. That's no fun. The bishop's going to go to f5. c2 is going to be permanently protected. Oh man, rook d1. Blunders a full rook, and he's still winning, but he just blundered a full rook, Safari did. Did he? Did he not? Oh no, he has. Oh no. Bishop g4. I don't know if that was a blunder or he just sought after. Probably was a blunder, but position was still winning because of the passed pawn. That was kind of funny. You know you're really winning when you actually, I think, blunder a rook and your opponent is still lost. Now this game is going to be over, but that moment that I was referring to, I mean, the thing is, black only needs a draw to advance the match. He's going to win 3-0. Rook d1 definitely feels like it's a mistake because, okay, you just lost a rook and a bishop for a rook, but you trade off pieces, so it wins as well. I just have a feeling it was, he didn't see that the pawn was pinned. But Safari wins that game. It's already over. So he 3-0 over Mikola Bortnik, aka Nedwis. Doesn't surprise me. I mean, I expected most of these well-known blitz players to advance. One of my, if I was going to pick a player who I think has a good chance of winning, probably Daniel Dubov. Probably Daniel Dubov over here. I've played him quite a bit on ICC. I mean, all the guys are good, but I think he's a guy who can definitely pull off some big upsets. So we're waiting for round 4. Game 4 in this first round of the 32-player knockout, and we're still following the match between defending champion and number 2 seed in the event, Alexander Grishuk. He's playing Russian FIDE master by the name of David Gordetsky, who's putting up a serious fight. So it's 2-1, and he needs a draw here. Are there some other games going on? Let's see. Oh, there are a few people eliminated. Let's go through that. Already, let me go over a few results. Wow. Sujirov from Russia has been eliminated, and who he was playing was I see that Tricks Only, Stefan Kuipers from Netherlands was eliminated. Rajaram Laxman, Grandmaster from India, was eliminated. Indian Elephants, his username. Uzbek Dragon, Timur Gureyev has been eliminated. Is Blitzer DDD also eliminated? Which is Dubov? Looks like it. No. Is he even in the event? Huh. Sure You Dragon has been eliminated. That is Eduardo Terzega. He lost to the Last Samurai. And who the Last Samurai is Semil Khan Ali Marandi, who is studying at St. Louis University, an international master from Turkey. There is some... and who did Sujirov lose to? Sinan Sujirov, who is a top 100 grandmaster from Russia. He got eliminated pretty badly to Filaron on ICC. And Filaron is Francesco Rambaldi, also studying at St. Louis University. But he represents Italy. Grandmaster Rambaldi. Those are rating upsets, but those are matches that I expected to go down to the wire, so that's... But we got our eye on the Grishuk match, so we're just waiting for that to start. So 3 games have been played. Round 1, 32-player knockout. Already a handful of players have been eliminated. And today, the tournament determines the Final Four. And then the Final Four is played tomorrow, which is a 10-game match in the semifinal and final, incorporating both 3-0 and 3-2 time controls. Yeah, just waiting for the Depresniak game, but let's see who's playing in the meantime. This is going to be a match to watch. Perez Ponza against Sam Sevian, one of the top young players in the world, and this is a match that's a toss-up. I mean, even by FIDE rating, these guys are very, very close. I think both in the high 2500s. So, open age foul. This looks very dangerous for Sevian. I mean, his king seems to be far more exposed. His username is Sparnal IQ. He is playing black. Perez Ponza, who I think made it pretty far last year in the ICC tournament, he is playing white. playing knight b3 to stop black's b-file sort of attack. But in the long run, the h-file, there's no way for black to stop white from eventually doubling up the rooks. So Sevian played bishop c4, trying to still harass. Knight c5, threatening knight d7, forking the queen and the rook. Rook h4, nice move, stopping queen f4 check and preparing to double. This position is looking very lost, and I wouldn't be surprised if white throws in, the move b3 to kick away the bishop to a bad square like b5, which blocks its own rook, and then white just is going to double up. This king e7 on the board, rook h1, that's looking bad. I would say this is lost, but in blitz, usually you have a few more fighting chances. And I think Perez Pons is now calculating knight takes e6. I think he's calculating knight takes e6 because it might win on the spot. Knight takes e6 on the board. And after f takes e6, he's going to just take with the other knight and have many, many discover checks at his disposal. So queen b6. Rook takes h8. Rook takes h8, and now what are you going to do? Knight c5, knight takes g7, knight g5, queen f5 looks pretty strong, I must say. Okay. So I think the king has to walk over to the queen side. Yeah, king d7 on the board. Sevian down to 30 seconds. We're going to have to watch this game because it looks like it's going to be over pretty soon. Or it was going to be over. Now Perez Pons has just moved back and took the pawn. I think he should have done that when the king was in the center still. But 27 seconds or 23, 22, it's a time situation. Plus black's up a piece, but white has 3 pawns compensation, which is usually full compensation. What? Sevian has just blundered the piece back or something, but it looks like queen takes e1. Six seconds to a minute. It's getting chased down the board and lost. So we're actually just waiting for Grishuk. The game hasn't started yet. So, but yeah, that one Sevian really had a bad opening. Okay, well, in the meantime, we're going to have to follow another game. Vladislav Artemiev against Terry Renato. Artemiev is one of the top juniors in the world, one of the top players in the world. He's getting close to 2,700 FIDE. But in this position, he is going down to a much lower rated IM from Peru, Terry Renato. Expect he already resigned. So what's the status of that match? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Was that the first game? No. That means the match is now 2-2. That one's going into overtime. So that was a must-win game by the Peruvian. If you guys want to see the grid, you go to grid.chessclub.com/ICC Open. It shows what's going on. It looks like Kingmate disconnected or something. According to their grid, he has advanced. Some other people who have advanced, Jeffrey Shang has advanced. A plus beat Dubov 3-0. Alexander Moskalenko is his real name, from Russia. Is that the case? If it is, that's pretty serious. So we have at least one overtime game. I guess that's what we're going to follow, is Vladislav Artemiev. Who else has been eliminated? It looks like Sebs has been eliminated. That was one of the underdogs in this tournament, Sebastian Mihalov from Norway. He got eliminated just now. But he was... Who did he play? We'll find out. Wait, no. Is he tied with Dingley Ren? 2-2. Oof, wait a second. I just checked the history, and it looks like he's actually beaten Dingley Ren. Looks like that's a 2-2 match headed into overtime. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we're waiting for a few games to start. Okay, so Grishuk's game, they have paired Grishuk and Gordetsky now, and that game is on the road. It's 2-1 for Alexander Grishuk, so he only needs a draw to advance. It's like a Queen's Indian defense. And we might have hanging pawns again. Black often plays c5 later on here. Well, instead of hanging pawns, an isolated pawn. Either way, I mean, Black wants to keep all the pieces on the board. I mean, because he has to draw, he has to win this game to tie the match. So an isolated pawn, at least, is a sort of dynamic structure and gives both sides chances in the middle game. So you see Black has 2 bishops, active pieces. White has a good knight on d4, and is got constant pressure against the center, like the d5 pawn. But I have to say, Grishuk's position for having the white pieces doesn't look particularly attractive to me. Black's 2 bishops seem to be pretty good, and the isolated pawn is not the end of the world until more pieces get traded off. I would expect Black to play h5, h4 and soften up the king side at some point to also keep a lot of pieces on the board. Knight f4. Maybe what? Knight c5. Okay, rook c5. That's good. Wow, I'm liking Black's position. I mean, Grishuk here up 2-1. David Gordetsky here has nothing to lose to go for it. He needs to equalize the match, and only a win will do that. And he's playing like that right now. Rook c5, trying to get hanging pawns and sort of push White's knights backwards. I mean, I might even sacrifice here. I'm getting very tempted to just leave that rook on c5, but probably something more principled is called for. Like rook back, okay. Grishuk willing to repeat, but he's down 20 seconds right now. So I would, okay, black plays queen e5, knight d3. Grishuk trying to just catch up on the clock. The pressure's definitely on black here, so no reason for him to be the one changing his strategy. Black has to take some more risks to open the position up. I mean, what I'm recommending is to play h5, h4 as soon as you get the chance and soften up that square. But do you see what Grishuk is doing every single time? Black is prepared to play h5. He plays knight f4, and the d5 pawn becomes an issue. Isolated pawn. Oof, knight c3. Now that pawn is falling no matter what. Looks like Grishuk is on his way to securing a ticket to the next round, because from what I can tell, White's got 4 attackers on d5, so that's going down either way. Even now, 3 attackers on d5. He could have even captured on d5 there, but this is, yes, a blunder. I mean, why not capture on d5? Knight takes f2. Oh, that's a huge problem. Now anything can happen here. Knight g4. But White's king side is pretty weak all of a sudden. Black has weaknesses, but now White also has some holes, and that makes things very interesting. Just when I thought Grishuk had control over the game, he blunders knight takes f2, a very common tactic. And he's going to find himself in a worse endgame here, as far as I can tell. He's down a pawn. He's just down a pawn, and he's down a few seconds on the clock. He needs to trade off pawns on the queen side and defend. But you know what's bad? Knights are way more dangerous in time scrambles. Grishuk down 10 seconds, and it looks like he is really in some serious trouble here. Black's going to put the pawn on a5. The bishop can never access it. And he is going to use his time advantage and really get a big lead on the clock. Knight there, threatening knight f3 and rook h2 checkmate, forces bishop g2. Again, he's probably just going to repeat it a couple times. He's up 15 seconds. Grishuk getting really low on time, and I think 15 seconds in 3-0 when there's no extra time is fatal. It's a fatal time disadvantage. Even though Grishuk has won the a pawn and he's pushing, that knight's coming to some good squares. We're gonna have to see Grishuk's bullet skills. Oh, bishop d5, bishop d5. Is it happening? No, not yet. He's preparing bishop d5. Oh. Wow, look at that, guys. Alexander Grishuk playing every move instantly. He's got 7 seconds to win this. Uh, 4 seconds. 3. Oh. Looks like Grishuk did flag. Grishuk flagged, guys. Right here. Rook takes... he flagged on rook takes f5. He has a checkmate, but he had to pre-move. So there's a checkmate in one move. Instead, he does rook takes f5 and flags, and that match is tied. That match is tied. So at the very end, rook takes f5, king h8, and I mean, yes, queen e8 was mate in 1, but he had to pre-move, and after king h8, oh. So defending champion Grishuk is going into tie breaks, and there are a few tie breaks going on. Another one is Nijat Abbasov against Sophiste on ICC, who is Jules Moussard, I believe. Yes, from France. 3 tiebreak games right now. We're going to follow Grishuk's game since we have followed the entire match. But we'll see. I believe the time control is the same, guys, and it's 2 extra games. In that game, Grishuk blundered and he came back but didn't have enough time because normally he just had too little time. And again, though, he needs to play a little bit faster if he wants to minimize the risk. But we're talking about Alexander Grishuk, a guy who often lets his time go down to 1 second in classical games against top players in the world and still finds a very good move. So who am I to criticize him? But it seems like against some of these younger opponents, they're pretty good at flaggings. So we'll see if he adjusts. Over here, though, he's got a bit of a, I was going to say a hedgehog structure, but he hasn't played e6. So it's a much better version for black. And he's just traded off his light squared bishop. 1b4. Black can take on a6, but after knight c5, it seems to me, first of all, the c4 pawn's isolated, extremely weak. Black's got the c-file pressure, but just much better pawn structure for black right now. Oh, isn't that rook trapped? After rook a5, there's knight b3. Knight b3, rook b1. You can win 2 rooks for the queen. Do you want to do that? It looks good, but is it necessary? It looks good. You can play knight b3, but you don't need to. Instead, Grishuk is just going to go for an endgame where he is significantly better due to pawn structure, and he's up 50 seconds. So after queen e4, if white doesn't capture, c4 might be hanging because this is with tempo. The queen if the queen moves, then c4. If the queen gets traded, how do you defend c4 in the long run anyways? So instead, what happened? Let's see. He did move the queen away. And king g7, bishop b2. But black is up a healthy pawn. You can play e5 and block the diagonal. There's nothing permanent here for white. No long-term compensation, nothing. This is just a very, very bad endgame. Rook c2 is coming next. Maybe you can play rook a2 and be very tricky. Is that what he's going to do? Yes, he is. Threatening bishop takes e5 check if you try to play rook c2. But it's otherwise, that knight on e4 dominates white in many aspects. Grishuk is getting ready to put that king to e6, and then I mean that is coordination, that is safety. F2 is falling. He's going to maybe play king e6 first just to be safe. I don't see what's wrong with taking on f2 right now, but he played king e2, king e6, just to make sure he's not blundering. He's up 40 seconds. He's up a pawn. Grishuk is well on his way to taking the first game of this tiebreaker. So how do you push the pawns? The problem is that knight on e4 stops the pawns from being pushed, so that's what he does. He moves the knight out of the way, preparing to play e4. You can't do it yet because of knight d4 check. He's going to improve his pieces a little bit more. Get your rook off of c2, so there's no knight d4 check. Now e4 is a possibility. e4, yeah. Rook takes d2 is a threat. Oh. Looks like everything has fallen. So, I mean, it's hard to blunder here because your king is so well placed. I mean, even if you lose your rook, black's probably still winning because he got 3 extra pawns. So, Grishuk here is going to win the first game, and he'll be in the same situation as last time. He just needs a draw to qualify. A draw with white to qualify. So, knight e1 here, maybe, knight f3 check. that works as well. King d5, rook d4 check, king e6, hitting the bishop. Ooh, 4 pawns now. This is very, very, I was about to say depressing, kind of like his username, because probably resignation is coming. Down to 10, 9, and he resigns. Grishuk takes the first game comfortably with black, never in any trouble at all. It was a very one-sided game, and he just had a huge edge in the opening. The game between Abbasov and Musard. Musard won with black. The only game left is... Oh, let's see. Is Artemiev and Renato. And Artemiev's down again. This is a very unpleasant endgame, but he is up a few seconds. And this is 3-0, so... I mean, if you're white here, you gotta just want to flag black. I mean, you might be down a pawn, but 6 seconds, 5 seconds, that's worth the game in a lot of these situations. I'm expecting bishop d5 any moment. There it is. There it is. Rook here. Oh, Artemiev is going to move on because, I mean, he's going to win the first game. And black loses on time. So yeah, if you get down to 15 seconds and you don't have a checkmate nearby, I mean, you're really, really playing with fire there. That's another very good position we've seen just flagged. And that's the name of the game. That's 3-0. But let's get ready for kingmate against the Presniak. One more time. Did Dingley Ren just lose? So, that match is over between Artemiev and Terry Renato. Artemiev did qualify. He got 1.5 out of 2 in the tiebreaker. We're going to wait for Grishuk's game. Tingley Ren is going to a second tiebreaker, as far as I can tell. He once again needed only draw, and he lost that game to Sebastian Mihalov, one of the 2 FIDE masters in the field, I believe, who was, I mean, scoring huge upsets against one of the top blitz players in the world. So a lot of upsets happening today. I really would have done a bad job of predicting. So, the first round today is going to take the longest. We have the most matches, and as a result, the most tiebreakers. And it's a pity. So the story of the tournament is both Dingley Ren and Alexander Grishuk are in the tiebreak phase of their match, despite being the number 1 and 2 seeds and playing the 2 lowest rated players in the field. And the matches are, you know, it's a 4-game match. It's not just one game. They've been legit matches, and their opponents have been up to task. This is a Slav in the game between Mihalov and Dingley Ren. This is their, they've already tied after 6 games. This is game 7 and 8. I believe the format is you play 4 games, and then you have 2. If you're tied, you play 2 more games. If you're tied again, you play 2 more games. But after 8 games, if you're still tied, then you do play 1 game. And in that 1 game, if it's tied again, then you switch colors, something like that. But after 4-4, they do a coin toss, and they pick sort of like a one-game match without any time odds, no Armageddon, but it's just a one-game match. So. The Grishuk game has started, and we are going to jump into this one. Grishuk, I mean, he's such an experienced player. You'd think, I mean, in this game, he's going to try to dry the position out and take away the counterplay. He doesn't need to win, so he just needs to steer the game towards draw. He's an experienced player. He has the white pieces. There should be a situation he's found himself in many times in his career where he just needs to slow down the position, not allow. I mean, the last game he was doing a good job until he blundered knight takes f2. So as long as he doesn't blunder this game, and he was lucky that that wasn't even like dead lost right away, then he should be okay. So white's got the two bishops. Black's ready to play d5 and maybe challenge the center. But two bishops, pawn on e6 is weak. Black just took on d4, which opens up things even more. This looks like a very, very comfortable opening advantage for white with two bishops here. Knight on f6 is killed by this f3 move. Doesn't really get to any squares. And yeah, I do really, really like white's position. Wouldn't be surprised if he takes and plays bishop f1 now. There's a few options. Anyways, black has to go for it. So what he's doing, I mean, white does have a good position, but he's going to have to play precise. So queen f2. e4, let's see what happens. You don't want to take on e4 and let black get a knight on e4. Then you're asking for trouble, especially this g1 to b6 diagonal. Black would love to get that queen on, to use that at some point, but the queen on f2 does a good job. Knight c5. The game plan, I think, for black here, kingmate, I mean, is to continue pressing Grishuk on the clock, because that's won him 2 games already. He has flagged Grishuk twice, and I mean, you still have to play good moves to get your opponent into time trouble, but clearly that's been a problem for Grishuk today. d5. So he's trying to trade everything off, and that is a smart plan. Queens are now off the board, so no checkmate happening. And I think some promising endgames here for white, because the e4 pawn is going to be weak in the endgame. It gains space in the middle game, but here white's king is very close to it. White has the outside passer. This should definitely be a position where Grishuk should just not lose ever. I can't say ever, but I mean, I would be very surprised. It looks like he's doing the right things this game, trading everything off, and I think he's well on his way to advancing. So bishop takes d3, rook b2, and I think he'd like to put that king on d2 if possible, and just pick up that pawn. But he's getting ready to block the d file and then push the p pawn. Time is even. h4 probably. Okay, b5. Oh. Rook takes g2. I'm not sure what's going on here, guys. I would say that was extremely unnecessary, and he could have prevented that. that's what I'm thinking. This is now a race. Why did he allow rook g4 check? This is now going to be pretty close. h3. B7. Yeah, okay. And he wants to play. Oof. How do you stop it? How do you stop this? Who's gonna come first? It looks to me like you can take and play H2, but after Rook H1. Wow, Gordetsky managed to find some serious counterplay here, but now this endgame is just a draw. That seemed a little risky, the way Grishuk drew is going to draw this, but nevertheless, pawn and bishop does not beat a knight, and this game should be a draw. He's just going to rotate. Rotate his king, sacrifice the knight. Okay, so Grishuk advances. Very close match. I think in the end it was 4.5 to. It was a 6-game match, so 3.5 to 2.5. And Grishuk does advance. Who else is going on? So I'm going to tell you a few more results from this round. See what happens. Who else has advanced here? So Fedorikov, yeah, as I said before, beat Sam Sevian. Grishuk has just advanced. Dingley Ren is still in his tiebreak match. Jeffrey Zhang is playing Alexander Moskalenko next round. Rauf Mamedov beat Laxman. Zaven Grozny, aka Zaven Andriazian, Grandmaster from Armenia. He has advanced. He beat Grandmaster Ibarra from Spain. Safarli advances. Dragon 40 advances, who I believe is from Iran, Grandmaster from Iran. He is Parham Megsudlu. He's just a teenager, so he's one of the some rising young talents from Iran. He's part of that group. He's playing Safarli. That should be good. Just now, Jules Musard beat Nijat Abbasov, and that means he wins a date with Grishuk, who just had a tie-break match against David Gordetsky. Put up a very good fight. Further down the grid, we have, by the way, Lenny Dominguez Perez is also a top grandmaster. I forgot to mention. He advanced, and he is going to be playing Black Horse 96, aka Alexander Bortnik. That should be a very, very exciting match. Vladislav Artemiev did win his tiebreaker, and he'll be playing Anton Demchenko, who defeated Alan Pichot from Argentina. And the other match that was Filaron, aka Francesco Rambaldi. He is playing his teammate Ali Mirandi. Those guys both upset higher rated opponents, and they'll be playing each other, maybe in the same building. Who knows? They're both at St. Louis University. So all the matches are done except for Dingley Ren's. Let's see this one. Copy. 4-7-1. And this is in the second tiebreaker. They have drawn the 7th game. So this is game 8. So if anybody wins this game, they advance. And you really have to be surprised by how resilient Sebs has been to be down in both matches and to win a must-win game, to force a tiebreaker. I mean, it's going. It's getting into that territory where I'm starting to think fate has it that the FM will score one of the biggest upsets in recent memory, to my mind. Because when you keep catching up, when you're when you have the lead and you keep allowing your opponent to catch up when all you need is a draw. I've been in that situation before. It starts to add up, and you start to get a bit bothered or upset. The psychological effect of letting your opponent back into the match multiple times definitely kicks in at some point. But here we have sort of King's Indian position. Seems like a fairly decent position for Black though, because okay, if the H file, okay, White wants to maybe double up on the H file, but otherwise Black has gotten bad King's Indian bishop out. It's on G5. So the H file is the issue. That's. So what about bishop takes? Do we have time for bishop takes G3 and G5 to just close out the position? If we don't, then maybe I do have to change my evaluation. H6. Take, knight F3. Queen H6 is coming, or the H file is coming. So I expect Queen F6 and Queen G7 now. So White is gonna crash through on the H file. So Black needs to immediately prepare for that. So Queen E7 or Queen F6, and put the Queen to G7. The good thing for Black is the pawn structure is very bad for White. If you ever trade queens or something, you were in some trouble. Instead he went for H5, very ambitious. I do not think I would have played H5 and opened up those lines. But one thing you see here, Dingley ran up 20 seconds. However, Black is just saying there's no checkmate. I'm going to play H5. Rook F7 is probably coming next. This is starting to look very good for Black. An endgame here, those double pawns on the E file are really bad. Bishop on C2 is a terrible piece. And Black has the outside passed pawn as a result of these double E pawns. I am starting to prefer Black's position. As I analyze more and I don't see a checkmate for White, I'm starting to really like Black's position, and that means I'm starting to think that Dingley Ren is on the verge of elimination right now, unless he finds a way to break through, because Black is ready to see Knight H2. That's just a temporary move, but that does not accelerate the attack. H4 here looks very powerful. H4 and G5. No, this is starting to look H4 on the board, guys. Queen G5. The pawns are all in the wrong color for White. His attack has led nowhere, and as a result, Black just has a protected passed pawn on H4, or it's about to be protected. This is a lost endgame. Dingley Ren is up 11 seconds though, and that might be the crucial factor in this game. His position is probably busted. He's got all his pawns in the wrong color. Black's got a great knight, great outside pass pawn, but now the time situation is reversing. He's spending time. He's even material. Ooh, this is going to be a win for Black. This is going to be a win for Black. He's now down time. He's getting outplayed on the clock and on the board here. So now Black is just going to bring the king in, and now challenge the knight. He's going to bring the knight and kick away the C3 knight. Ooh. I have to manually do this. Sorry, guys, in terms of time scrambles. But Dingley Ren is going to lose this match. Oh. Queen G3 and Queen G2. Queen G3 and Queen G2. Dingley Ren, the top seed of the tournament, loses to, I guess, the lowest rated player, Sebastian Mihalov from Norway. In an 8-game match, he falls 4.5, 3.5, and that is massive. An 8-game match to beat one of the top 5 rated blitz players in the world. That's serious. That is one of the biggest upsets I've ever seen in online chess. In an 8-game match, there's not very much randomness or blunders. And from what I saw this game, Black actually outplayed Dingley Ren pretty comfortably in a King's Indian, which is one of Dingley Ren's pet openings as Black himself. That's beating Dingley Ren with his own opening. So there's a 5-minute break at this point while we figure out while we pair the final 16. But just to summarize, Dingley Ren has been eliminated, and as a result, Sebastian Mihalov advances and he plays Federico Perez Ponza. In the second bracket, Jeffrey Shang advances. He's playing Alexander Moskalenko from Russia, an international master, but he's rated over 2,500 FIDE and definitely a good blitz player. Third bracket, we have Rauf Mamedov. I just want to say, unfortunately, Dubov did not show up, so that is how Moskalenko advanced. So he kind of had a bye. Rauf Mamedov over here beat Indian Elephant, aka GM Laxman from India. He's playing Zaven Andriasian. So Mamedov against Andriasian in chess. Azerbaijan and Armenia is generally, very tough match. Those countries have very, very good blitz players, both of them. Safarli is playing against Magsudlu in the next bracket. Grishuk is playing Jules Moussard, who is rated close to 2,600, but in blitz he definitely plays better than that. So that's gonna. That based on how Grishuk played in the first match, we'll see if he warms up. If he has warmed up, but that match should be very exciting to follow because Moussard is a very, very good blitz player, plays well above his rating. And then you have the St. Louis University battle between Grandmaster Rambaldi, who beat Eduardo Terrazega, and Ali Morandi, who beat Sinan Sujirov. They are playing each other. They're seeded 26 and 23, so that's definitely an upset bracket. And Dominguez advanced, and he's playing Bortnik. I think Dominguez, Bortnik, and Grishuk Moussard are the premier matches this round. But the other ones are very close in rating as well. So the final bracket is Artemiev against Demchenko. That's an all-Russian pairing. And the format remains the same. That's 4-game matches of 3-0. So just a 5-minute break. What do you guys think? Who's going to win the tournament? But that's one of the biggest upsets I've ever seen in online chess history. Dingley Ren, rated close to 2,900. FIDE Blitz losing to a player rated, 500 points lower in an 8-game match. Bortnik and Dominguez. There's definitely upset potential there. Lenny Dominguez is a former world champion in speed chess, but definitely not an easy match for him because Bortnik specializes in online blitz. One moment. Okay. So this round, I'm going to follow Dominguez against Bortnik. Just waiting for that one to start. 1 second. There we go. Okay. So a Sicilian right off the bat should be pretty sharp stuff here. And H3. So instead of going into theory against Dominguez, one of the world's best theoreticians, Bortnik is just playing an easy-to-play system. Looks like I've never seen this sort of thing. Give up the bishop pair, but it's blitz, and He's just like, I just don't want to enter theory against Dominguez. I just want to play some chess. I want to have an equal position, but just be able to play a normal position. So the moves are coming in pretty quickly. Playing white, Alexander Bortnik, rated close to 2,600 from Ukraine against Lenny Dominguez Perez from Cuba, who's playing with black, who's rated close to 2,750. But as you can see from the ratings, they're both, over 3,000. Both very, very good blitz players. And they play a lot online. Generally speaking, though, black has to have a good position, just the bishop pair, without any structural weaknesses or something. It's not like white has really good compensation, got to double pawns, got to weaken something. It's just simply the bishop pair for black that swings the evaluation in his favor. One of the plans for white here is to put the knight on g3 to try to play bishop g5 to try to trade off black star squared bishop, then bring your queen to g5 and start to attack the dark squares. That's an easy to execute idea, and it can work well because this queen on b5 and bishop on a6, it looks like a great diagonal, but if it doesn't actually restrict any of white's pieces, then it's not so dangerous. So clearly, Bortnik here now, he provoked h6, which means black is not castling anytime soon. So then white will just take on h6, sacrifice that bishop for an attack, and get a lot of compensation. So yes, king safety is going to be an issue for Dominguez here. But otherwise, in the long run, if he gets more pieces off the board, the bishops will get stronger and stronger. But Bortnik doing a great job of putting a little bit of pressure, avoiding sort of positions where, by the way, Dominguez is known as an extremely good technical player. So end games, technical positions, with slight edges, he does very well in. So white wants to keep the tactical possibilities in the position. He wants to make it a bit messy. He wants to put pressure on the clock. One thing I can say for sure is in terms of bullet, Bortnik has a serious advantage. He is a quicker player. He's more experienced in bullet. So if they get low on time, I expect him to do pretty well in that situation. Dominguez, for him to do well, he's going to want to stay ahead on the clock. He's going to, just want to avoid messy positions. He's going to really trade off pieces. He's going to try to find a way to trade off pieces. But stay ahead on the clock. And he's doing that right now. See, he just did a nice sequence. He just repeated it and gained a little bit of time, confusing white. White's slowly inching towards the king, though. Queen is going to go to f4 at some point. He's going to need some more pieces. I don't see a way for white to actually get a good attack going on, but I can see him still put on some nagging sort of pressure, at least keep black honest on the king's side. H5 doing a good job clamping down on the king's side. Now you got to bring your knights into maybe more aggressive squares. Problem is, what square is that? H5 was a square for the knight. But now we're getting under a minute, and so far, I mean, for blitz, this is a very balanced position. The only thing is black has not achieved an opening up position, which is how you make the bishop stronger. And I'd say if this continues in this direction, okay, I'm not sure why black horse is spending so much time. Wow, why is he spending so much time? Okay, he finally moved. If black doesn't achieve an opening up the positions, in the position, the bishop pair is not such a big advantage here. And in time scrambles, I prefer knights. They're very tricky. They can come up with threats out of nowhere. They're harder to anticipate knight moves. I like the knights in a time scramble. So we will see what happens there. Threatening queen g6 check. By the way, queen g6 now looks like it's going to be played almost no matter what. Queen g6 on the board. That's a very juicy square for white. You'd like to reroute. You'd like to position your rooks to put pressure on the d file. On a good day, I might play g3, knight g2, knight f4. Finding an outpost over there. You can't do g3 yet though because of this this diagonal that black has over here. But d5 coming. Bortnik is now taking over, and he is threatening checkmate, threatening the bishop. He's just won an exchange, and he is winning here. Down 6 seconds or 3 seconds. It's going down. Dominguez not playing quick enough. Bortnik is on his way to winning this match. This game, sorry. In bullet, as I said, he's really good. He's not going to have a problem converting here. That's what I'm saying. Could be wrong about that, but I expect him to convert this. So white is up a full exchange. Now he's winning the pawn. He's up on time, and Dominguez going down. He just didn't get the bishops going until it's too late. The only time he got the bishops going was when he lost an exchange, I think. So game 1 goes to Alexander Bortnik, aka Black Horse 96. I think that is the year he was born, so he's a pretty young player. He's 20 or 21. He just, Black had a nice position, but didn't put any pressure on white, and always sort of got to improve his pieces and come up with some annoying counterplay. But just, you got the bishop pair, you have to put it to use, and the only time that bishop pair got put to use was way too late. I think he finally, so first game goes to Bortnik with white, playing just, with a clear plan in mind. I'm just going to avoid theory. I'm just going to shuffle around. When you get under a minute, that's when I'm going to play more tactical, put more pressure, and try to confuse Dominguez. One thing I found out myself, whenever I play Bortnik, he does not blunder much. If you beat him, you really have to put him out. He does not blunder a lot. He gets in bad positions. He's not the best in the opening, but he doesn't outright blunder. Material usually, things like that. So now let's follow the next game. It's just started. Dominguez has white, and they went into an Alekhine, which is what Bortnik plays both in classical chess and in Blitz. It is his pet opening. Doesn't have the best reputation, but that doesn't mean as much in Blitz normally. What you can see from this position though is like white has a huge space advantage. Bishop on g7 is locked in. Now the h file is open. Maybe you'll play g3 and king g2, and bring the rook to h1. That looks like a possibility. So now knight takes d4. Seems logical not to give Black the c file and to improve the knight. He took like that, dynamic. The idea is to open up the a file and to play against the knight on b6, which now does not have the c4 square. I'm not sure I actually agree with that decision. The more I look at it, the more I think he maybe should have taken with a knight. But it seems here that he did have a clear plan. Knight g5, wants to shove e6, maybe king g2, rook h1. So h6, you play e6 anyways. That's the point. You're not playing knight h3, you're just playing e6 because it comes with tempo. And he's preparing e6. Black's figuring out, do I play e6 myself and critically, weaken the f6 square, and the dark square's around my king, and he instantly goes for f6. So you can still play e6 and knight f7 here. f6 is an ugly move, but he didn't like the alternatives. So e6 was played, now knight f7. G5. I'm saying Bortnik sometimes finds himself in pretty bad positions, but he puts up a lot of resistance in them. We'll see if this position is something. He's down a little bit on the clock, but the position looks really bad. I mean, maybe bishop d2 here. Mm-hmm. Play. I want to play King G2. I just want to play King G2. Maybe here I have Bishop B4 or Bishop C3, sort of blocking the C file. Probably Bishop C3 is not necessary. Black, in the meantime, is playing Knight A8 to play Knight C7 and just get rid of that E6 pawn, which is crucial. I have an idea here. Queen D3, and I want to take on G5, but I'm starting to realize I want to sacrifice Bishop takes G5 and get an attack on H7 going. But I just realized Black is playing Knight C7, Knight takes E6 anyways. This is a big think now required for Dominguez. How do you stop Knight C7? Do you play Bishop A5? Do you play Bishop B4? He's played Queen D3. I like Knight C7 here. Knight C7 needs to be played, and after Bishop takes G5, just take on E6, and I think then Black starts to free up a bit. Oh, Dominguez and I both missed that. What? we both thought Knight C7, and you could take. Is the knight not trapped? Has Dominguez just blundered a piece? Yes, he has. Any Dominguez has just blundered a piece from a few moves ago, this was looking really good. He is now in trouble, and he is down 1-0. He's now down a piece. He's got only one pawn as compensation. Just got very ugly, doubled isolated A pawns as well. B pawns, sorry, double B pawns. Dominguez is dead lost here. He's down 35 seconds. And he, as I said, this is definitely a match, wouldn't even be a big upset because Bortnik is very dangerous. But bad play. I mean, it's just Dominguez is struggling to convert. I mean, even this other game, he didn't convert his two bishops, and in this game, he had a big edge, and he didn't get anything out of it. He's giving up a second piece now. There's no checkmate. You can take on E7. Dominguez is probably going to resign in a couple of moves. No, he's got Rook F4 check. Okay, the king can run to E8 though. Oops. The king can run to E8 and to D7. He's trying to cut the king off. King D8 though, or knight D8. Two pieces. I mean, two pieces. He's down on time. Wow. Okay, but hanging the E6 pawn, something I also missed. That's the problem with putting your knight on F7. You better be sure you're going to win the game because it doesn't have an escape square on F7. So Alexander Bortnik now taking a 2-0 lead. All he needs is a draw in the remaining two games. And this one was surprisingly easy for Black. He had no space, but as soon as that E6 pawn fell, everything was clear. Let's see what's going on here. Copy. So waiting for the next round. Grishuk's match against Musard, 2 draws so far. So that one is unclear. We are going to follow that one. We'll check back on Bortnik against Dominguez, but 2-0 commanding lead for the Ukrainian. So, but we're going to check on Grishuk right now because that match is tied 1 apiece, 2 draws. And this was another match. I mean, I thought these were the two premier matches: Dominguez against Bortnik and Musard against Grishuk, because we're talking about very strong grandmasters in Dominguez and Grishuk, and very, very good blitz grandmasters in Bortnik and Sophiste, who is Jules Musard. Position looks like it came from B3 first move. This position over here looks a bit like a ready. That's a nice diagonal for white from B2 to G7. It can be stopped with F6. F4 supporting that knight. White is up 20 some seconds. I mean, So this is a match though where they're both very good in bullet. But if somebody has a time edge, the person with a time edge should be the big favorite. But Grishuk is okay playing low on time. Still, he's flagged twice today, and he barely escaped in round 1 against an FM, a dangerous FM. So over here, he's finally played f6, as White was preparing to maybe play f5. So finally decided this is the time to open up. But it looks to me like White's got some attacking ideas on Black's king, like, a knight takes f6 check, or bishop takes f6, or pawn to f5 to try to block this bishop. What's pawn f? Like, f5 looks really tempting to lock that bishop in on h7. It can go to g8. It's not done yet. You don't need to do it yet, but it's a tempting possibility. Instead, he opted for e5, f5 played by Black, knight e3. And I guess g4 might be the break at some point. Ooh, I don't like c3. But he wanted to stop knight d4, so I do understand that. I wanted to play g4 and just like push the pawns, but it's not so easy. Black has a possibility of rook b8 and b5 now to take advantage of this b3 weakness. If the king side gets closed, Black is just going to be like, oh, okay, then the king side is closed. I'm going to attack these weak pawns, b3, c3, d3 on the king side. First, he's dealing with the king side first. What the problem is he's down 40 seconds right now. He has a good position. I think Black is now taking over. Maybe he's going to play g5. Maybe he's going to play just on the king side. And he does do it. But he does have to play a little bit faster. So g5. H-pawn first as White. You could play h5. Maybe he's thinking about h5, but what I don't like about h5 is Black just takes on f4 and plays rook g3, takes the g file. No, you can't allow that. Okay, so what happens if you take on f4? Take on f4, rook g3, double rooks. I think he's going to do it. Yes, he's done it. I didn't like this. This looked really, really bad, if not lost, because you're going to double the rooks. You're going to play bishop h4, and all of White's pawns are targets. Oof. Bishop on b2, a spectator. Knight on e3 is okay, but d5 and f5 are very well protected. And a big move, rook g4. What? Why does that work? Knight takes g4, queen takes h5, king g3, bishop h4 check. Is that the idea? Well, instead, the blunder, not a blunder, maybe it's lost anyways. Rook h3 was played in checkmate, queen takes h5, next move. And Grishuk wins this game pretty convincingly. I was just about to say, what happens after here? Okay, it's blitz. I'll check that later. But anyways, he got checkmated pretty quickly. Grishuk wins. He's up 2-1, and now he needs just a draw. So next up is that previous match. Copy 1, 2, 7, 7, and that is between Dominguez and Dominguez here. What's going on here? This is like 3 results are possible. But it's looking good for Dominguez, except he's down on time. The king's coming in, he's going to push the f-pawn, he's got rook g2 check coming as soon as that knight moves, and he needs to win. Draw is not possible. Lenny Dominguez has to win this game. Looks like he's doing a good job, though. Yes. Yes. Push. And rook cannot go to e1 because bishop g4 is checkmate. Uh-oh. Is he going to survive the time scramble? Check. Oh, moves the king over. Oof. He needs to win. He needs to win. And instead, he flags. He loses 3-0 despite being up a rook and a bishop. He was trying to figure out a way to avoid a perpetual. Dominguez gets knocked out 3-0. And that's unfortunate here. He looks like he put a pretty he played a pretty good game in the final round, but too slow. Too slow against a very good blitz, very tricky and very dangerous bullet and blitz player in Bortnik. So we are seeing top seeds fall left and right. Grishuk might be the last super grandmaster left. The way things are looking, and he has not had an easy road. So Lenny Dominguez and Ding Liren have both been knocked out so far today. Who's going to be the next big name? We'll have to find out. So we're following Grishuk against Musard. That's 2-1 for Grishuk right now with 1 game to play. Let me check on some other results. Let's check the grid. Ding Liren got eliminated in the first round by the lowest rated player in the field, but a very good blitz player. The pairings are done by FIDE rating, but as you can see by the blitz ratings, the ICC ratings on some of the players, I mean, a lot of them have the ratings that a strong grandmaster would have. Let's check up on another match. How is the World Junior Champion doing? Jeffrey Shong. Let's see this. How is he doing? He's had 3 draws with Alexander Moskalenko, so they're 1.5 apiece. That means the next game is the decider. We might have to watch that one as well. Oh wow, Jeffrey has, I noticed he changed his ICC profile picture. That looks like his photo from the US Chess Championships. And Black played the Scandinavian. So we are seeing, especially from, the lower rated players, a lot of them are avoiding 30. They're playing blitz openings, and you can get away with so many openings in blitz. You can give up some space, just get some easy development, but, he's... Clearly, White has more space here, and as a result, an advantage. But as we've seen from a few of the games, that hasn't dictated the results at all. Black is going to play some moves and wait for White to take the risk and to find the hard moves. Trades, 94. Gotta like White here though. I'm just trying to figure out how to push the pawns. Oh, e5 is the idea? Just simple tactics? Is it that simple? Just e5? Isn't this just going to be a pawn up endgame for Black? Rook takes d3. Oh, no, never mind. He just blundered a piece. Oh. Knight f5 threatens, knight takes e7 check. Alexander Moskalenko, A+ here, playing Black, just blundered a piece, and now he's completely lost. He could have been down, knight f5 threatens the queen with check. That's what he blundered. That's what I said, is it so simple? And no, it wasn't so simple. It was simply bad. No, he's just down a piece here, and losing b7. This is just lost. Wow. So that would mean if Jeffrey converts this, which he should, on 100% of the time, he's up a pawn, up a piece, good structure, up on time, and Black has no counterplay. Black just stumbling the rooks. That means he's going to advance to the 3rd round. Remember, today we started with 32 players. We're going to finish with 4, so still got a long way to go. We're in the final 16. Maybe there's already 12 players left. A few have been eliminated, but down to 4 is what we're doing. It's just trading off the pieces. That's a queen and a queen for 2 rooks and a knight. That's not enough. So rook e1, I'm expecting. Yeah, you can't play f5 because of rook d7. Everything is going off. Jeffrey is going to advance. He's just going to double the rooks here. Ooh, rook f4, nice. Threatening, you can't take it because of knight e6 check. The pawn has been double up in the 7th. H4 or f4. And that should be mate. So where's the checkmate? Somebody tell me. Okay, he just wants to play rook f6 and win the queen. There's no stalemate tricks because black does have pawns on the queen side. Otherwise, there might be something because the king is lacking some squares here. But he resigned, and Jeffrey does advance to the next round. He wins 2.5, 1.5. Let's check up on Grishuk's game now. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Grishuk just get destroyed? This doesn't look... This looks... Wait. Grishuk's king is in the... I just had to double check that was the position. I couldn't believe what I saw. The king was on c4. I thought this was like chess 960 or some sort of mod. Grishuk here... I think resigned. Did he resign? Oof, look at this. What is this king doing on that square? I thought the board had an error because black's not even down any material here. I thought there was an error in the board. He's up a minute. Grishuk's king is on d4. I thought this was an error, but Jules Musar just crushed defending champion Grishuk. Just absolutely manhandled him, and that's going to tie breaks. Let's see how that happened. That was bizarre to be beaten so badly. I mean, how do you get your king all the way there? Oh, that's not... So, sort of an opening I don't know very well here happened, but black just got a big initiative right off the bat. Didn't castle and just attacked. Didn't find a checkmate, but you don't need to find a checkmate. Oof. That match is 2-2, and Grishuk, for the second time today, with white, when all he needs is a draw, he has lost. His nerves are not holding up at all. I mean, these are situations where he needs to close out, and he has not been able to. He's not been able to finish these low-rated players. So that match is going to tie breaks. Let's watch some other games. In the meantime, this is between Safarli and Meksudlu. Iran against Azerbaijan, and it's a time scramble. And who's going to win? Usually the queen should win because it has all the checks, right? Did he just guess the pre-move here? Black won. The queen did not win. It looks like he pre-moved rook f5. He guessed that Safarli was going to throw the queen to f5 because otherwise it looks like that was this is 1 second to 0 seconds. If white played queen c6, rook f5 would have been an illegal move, and maybe he would have flagged. But he anticipated that Safarli was going to sacrifice the queen to try to, flag his opponent, and as a result, ends up winning the game. So what's the result there? Seb's the upset of the tournament. He beat Ding Liren in the first round. He's been eliminated by Federico Perez Ponza, 2.5, 1.5. Put up some good resistance, and that's definitely a story. But he has been eliminated. So the Cinderella story, one of them, is gone. We'll see which other players, low-rated players, are still left. But, it seems like nobody's in really good shape here. Maybe Bortnik, because he won 3-0, but Grishuk has been very shaky so far. Who else is advanced? Zaven Andriazian beat Mamedov. But in the meantime, we're going to go to the tie breaks, and that is Musard against Grishuk. 2-game match to see who advances to the final 8. So 95. We have a similar position to a game they had earlier in the match. Let's see what's going on here. Another ready sort of position. It allows both sides a lot of flexibility, a lot of maneuvering. F6. E5 double-edged move, because now it improves the bishop on h7. You can't really block both in. And Grishuk now going to just attack on the queen side. I like black's position. Somehow I don't see white getting the counterplay in time on the king side. I'm not sure how you do that. C5, stopping knight d4, getting a piece there. C4 might be next. A4 might be next. But looks like black is in time on the queen side. Grishuk has actually been doing pretty well with black. As I said, he's lost a few games with white. He's just been very shaky. But he's playing this game well. I mean, he's just got a big edge here, I think. White's h2 to e5 pawn chain looks very vulnerable to me. It looks like it's overextended because it doesn't restrict black's pieces or position. And yeah, okay, b takes a4, knight takes d3, nice tactic. b2 falls in the end, and I mean, now you can take on c4, I guess. Simple as that. This is lost for white already, and he's down a lot of time. Took on c4, knight b4. Look at that. Bishop on h7 is a monster. Bishop d3. No, Grishuk is just, I mean, he was just so much faster. White was never even close to pushing those pawns on the king's side. Knight d5. Maybe. Or maybe rook f d8. I guess, yeah, d3 is hanging. So what's the move here? You can't take on c3 because your queen is hanging. Okay, queen a6. He wants white to take on d3, so undoubles the pawns, and the c5 pawn can push to c4. Grishuk up 30 seconds here. He's got a winning position just due to he's up a pawn. White's king is exposed for the most part. Black's got great pieces, but I just like the open lines here. Okay, knight takes d3. He's gonna take on c3 and then take back on d3. He's going to check, and bishop d4. Okay, so he's up in exchange. No, we're just watching him convert over here. A5 pawn is a goner now. So that's going to be same situation. Grishuk with white is going to have to he only needs to draw, assuming he wins this game, but he's well on his way to winning. Bishop g2, I guess. To stop rook g1. Or that. It's funny, Grishuk, I mean, his matches have been very close, but he seems to generally find a way to win, you know? That's why he's defending champion. I mean, last year, the epic game where he beat Okay, rook takes f4. So white resigned here because rook takes f4 comes next. But yeah, Grishuk last year beating Carlsen down a piece is one of the most remarkable blitz games I've ever seen. He just finds a way. It's not always pretty, but he finds a way. He sometimes has no time on the clock, but he is a pretty consistent performer. So who's up? Who's up next? So other tie breaks. Let me check the grid. So in the final 8, you have Federico Perez Ponza playing against Jeffrey Chong. And Andreasian beat Rauf Mamedov. And he'll be playing the winner of Safarli and Megsudlu, which is in tie breaks right now. Ali Morandi beat Francesco Rambaldi, and he'll be playing the winner of Grishuk against Musard. And Dominguez Perez was crushed by Bortnik 3-0, and Bortnik will be playing the winner of Demchenko Artemiev. So we're waiting for the final game in the Grishuk match. Safarli now takes. He won the first game in his tiebreaker against Magsudlu, so they have one game remaining. That's Artemiev in his tiebreaker. Just want to remind everyone that the prizes. First prize is $4,200 US dollars. Second is 2,200. Third and fourth get 1,000, and fifth to eighth get 425. Today we're gonna find out some of the prize winners, but the top 4 prizes, that's going to be tomorrow. So we have 3 tiebreakers still. The second game of each tiebreaker. Artemiev is up a game on Demchenko. Safarli is up a game on Magsudlu. And Grishuk is up a game on Musard. And we are going to watch the second game of Grishuk Musard. They've started. Looks like a sharp game. Good for the fans, good for us. Sort of King's Indian style. Well, I mean, this position, you got the pawns on c4 and e4. You're controlling the breakthroughs. I mean, f5 or d5 in the center. So for a game where you only need to draw, this is exactly the position Alexander Grishuk wants. It's not a crazy King's Indian. It's easy to understand. You have more space. You're controlling black. Easy to play moves. There's not a lot of risk. Actually, I mean, this is a position Grishuk, he's got to be very happy. We've seen him blunder a few times, but he's trying to trade off pieces. He's doing the right thing. Get the queens off the board. If you're Jules Musard here, you're playing black. You got to keep the queens on the board. You got to try to provoke blunders. How do you do that? You put some pressure. You got to start pushing your H pawn. Try to make some weaknesses. Try to imbalance. Try to. You're gonna have to take some risk, but the queens have to be on the board. And they don't have to be on the board. Okay. Well, we'll right or wrong about that. He trusts his endgame skills. I just feel like the ability to get Grishuk in time trouble or to provoke a blunder was higher with queens on the board. But we'll see. I evaluate this endgame as a bit better for white, nothing bad for black, and I guess he's confident in the long game that he can actually that this space advantage that white has is actually a weakness or something he can play against. So um, we'll see. Not a necessarily a bad decision. I just thought queens on the board was logical because of the must-win game situation. We'll see. So continuing to trade everything off. Knight b4 probably going to be played. Although knight b4, bishop e8. The knight might be able to stay there. Yeah, bishop e8. Ah, that's his idea. Okay. Rook h1. Okay. He's got a bit of counterplay. The problem is the bishop on e8. You're playing without a bishop. So, yeah, actually, how do you get that bishop out? I mean, let's say the king goes to h3. Is there even a checkmate here? I don't even see a checkmate. He's going to run the king to f3, which makes more sense. I mean, black g5 and h4, and maybe get that bishop over to h5. Oh, what happens if rook a4, guys? What's the move after rook a4? What? That's what. How do you defend the knight? I mean, it looks like you blunder a piece. That was bizarre. I mean, that's just an easy blunder. It was clear rook a4 was the follow-up. Is Krishuk blundering again? Yes, he has blundered. Alexander Grishuk has blundered again, and now he's fighting uphill. I mean, he's down an exchange and a pawn. He's going to lose this. This is going into a second tiebreaker, barring a blunder from Sophiste, aka Jules Moussard. Wow, I mean that knight was pinned. The rook on d4 was hanging. That wasn't that hard to see, but Grishuk has had a very up and down day. But the story is he messes up. He's messed up every single time. Well, three times if he loses this game out of 4 chances to close out a match. That is not. No, this is a lost king and pawn end game. I'm pretty sure. Push. Yeah, the king can go to b7 here. He is resigned. Alexander Grishuk loses, but like the way he lost, just shocking. He had control, and I mean, looks like it was a smart idea to trade queens by Sophiste because in a sort of simple position, I mean, it paid off. He got the rooks on the back rank. I mean, that was counterplay, but as I said, it's hard to win when your bishop is on e8 and if there's no checkmate. So, I mean, he could have moved this somewhere, maybe rerouted the knight to e5, but instead he just blundered. History. So that is going into another 2-game tiebreak. Who are the other people? Well, it looks like Safarli has advanced, and Artemiev is still playing. Artemiev has advanced. He drew Demchenko. He won 1.5 to half in their tiebreaker, so he has advanced. So we have only one tiebreaker left, but it's going to be a good one. That's Moussard against Grishuk. So that means it's going to be Black Horse against Artemiev, battle of 2 young grandmasters. Farley against Farley is playing against Andreasian, and yeah, Federico Perez-Ponza against Jeffrey Shaw. So we are waiting for the Grishuk and Musard game to start. That's 2 games. If they tie after 2 games, then it's only 1 game left. But that's the last one. Then we know our final 8. And we still have an IM left in the field. The last 7 samurai is ICC handle. Ali Morandi from Turkey, who lives in St. Louis. There we go. Okay. The game has just started between Musard playing white against Grishuk playing black, and they're repeating these ready systems that Grishuk has been doing very well in. He did win the last game very convincingly, I thought. But maybe he's won even the last 2 games with black. The problem for Grishuk is he is losing with white every single time, and he's letting his opponents get back into it. What that means is he's the most warmed up player in the field because he's played the most games. Sometimes it is a good thing, but he has to first make sure he actually advances. They have a slightly separate, slightly different structure here. I mean, bishops on e2 is quite a. I mean, queen side might be similar, but instead of fianchettoing, Musard is going for a less ambitious setup. He's not playing f4. He's not trying to gain a lot of space. He's just trying to get a normal position, it looks like. And I think some of the logic is in that is like he's been doing well with black, but he's been losing with white. So if he starts off maybe holding and playing safer, he's confident that he'll get some chances with black. It's kind of like in tennis. I mean, the players are breaking. Every game is a break. They're winning with black. Somebody just needs to hold serve. So the b4 square. I'm not sure how critical that is. At the same time, I don't know how white breaks through. You're going to put a knight on e5 maybe. Bit of a space advantage, but it seems to me like black has equalized pretty comfortably. If you trade off everything, black has the semi-open d file to use. It's very hard for white to sort of break this e6, c6 structure, which is why the rook is on c3. Maybe you can swing the rook to g3 and try to attack g7 because you're not breaking through in the center very easily. It's not going to be easy here with his knight on f6. Both players playing at a similar pace, and in this match, Grishuk has not been in as much time trouble, so he's definitely playing a little bit faster. Musard always plays pretty quick for the most part. So queen g4, queen e7, queen h5. Yes. So as more pieces get traded, I would say that favors black. But yes, and he's gone for the end game. And this is where I said the d file should be something that black can work with here, whereas white can't attack these pawns or break through. It's definitely equal and fine for black. So the question is, are these players going to push here, or are they going to repeat? And Musard decides to push. He had an opportunity right there to, I think, repeat, but instead he plays rook b1, maybe preparing b4, just in some ways avoiding repetition. You see Grishuk now down 20 seconds, took a long think there. Maybe he was evaluating, can I allow white to play b4 and open up the b file, and the answer is yes. Now he plays king f7 quickly, and are they going to repeat this time? I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I don't. White plays b4, he kind of shatters his pawn structure. c4 and a4 become very weak. And they repeated. So a draw, which means the next game they reverse colors. Grishuk has white. It's not a must-win game or anything. I mean, they can draw this one too, but they're going into the 8th game. It's tied 3.5, 3.5 in the individual match. Somebody wins this game. They do win the match, though. If they draw this, they go into the 3rd tiebreaker, which is a single game. And they've started right off the bat. Grishuk against Musard. A bishop b5 check. Yeah. And we have like a Rosalimo right now. One of my favorite openings is white. And definitely an opening that Grishuk knows very well. Usually you play d3 here, queen d1, push d4, and he's done it. 2 bishops for white. Black has easy development. Black gets to play b5, b4, try to strengthen the dark squared bishop on g7 by giving it some targets on c3. He's going to try to play b4 at some point. White, in the meantime, tries to play knight f3 and d4. Yes. Yes. Well, I really like these positions as white, but I'm not entirely confident in how Grishuk's been doing it. But this is supposed to be better for white. Just the 2 bishops without any sort of structural weaknesses. In the long run, the bishop should be pretty good. And you try to open up. He's playing h4. He might put the bishop on h3. He might play h5 when the knight vacates the f6 square. So f5. So black is intuitive. He's opening up the position, even though white has the 2 bishops. So now knight g5. Knight g5. Yes. Queen d7. But that's a nice pawn structure from a6 to f5. That's a lot of space. Grishuk playing b4, trying to fight for some space himself. Knight on g4 is annoying. Musard is he's been beating Grishuk with black, and in this game he shows his confidence by playing very aggressively. c4 here, trying to keep white's pawns on the dark squares, you know. So you do for the endgame, you put your pawns on the light squares and your opponent's on the same color as your bishop. This is, I don't know about you, this is looking very, very, very good for black. d4 is a threat, and then f2 hangs. Jules Musard here is threatening Alexander Grishuk's title. I mean, he's not threatening to win the title, but eliminate Grishuk from the tournament early on. B takes c4. I'm expecting the d4 first. No, d4. Excellent move. Excellent move. And oh, wait. Why didn't he take back? Oh, if you take back with a pawn, there's bishop f4. Maybe it was an excellent move. I thought he was winning on f2, but I changed my mind. I make, you know, I'm only human. I make some blitz mistakes too. Maybe that's why I'm not playing. I thought the idea of d4 was that he was going to take back with the pawn, but then I realized the bishop can go to f4 and block black from taking on f2 anyways. Whoa. Knight h4. Knight takes h4. King g1, g3. Uh-oh. Grishuk down to 30 seconds. He's down a full minute, and he's facing... is that a blunder? Not quite. So rook e1. It is a blunder. After rook e1, there's queen h3. Alexander Grishuk is about to be eliminated here. Rook e1, queen h3. If you take on d8 first, I take on f1 first. Alexander Grishuk is about to lose his match to Jules Musard, and he's about to lose with white once again. Huge problems for Grishuk here. Rook g6 check. Now you move the rook on d8 somewhere, and it's game over. Now this is game over. Just move your rook to g8. He's got a full minute to find a good move. Wow. He was just very, very, very unstable with white, it seems. I mean, he's playing down a full rook here. Okay, maybe if you take on h5, there's knight e6. Moussard is up 50 seconds. He's going to play queen f5. Yes, he does play queen f5, stopping knight e6. And all the Super Grandmasters have been eliminated. A nice finish by Moussard. Rook g1 check, sacrificing the rook. Queen d1, king g2, only move, and then queen h1 would be checkmate. A pretty powerful win by Jules Moussard. He eliminates Grishuk. Wow. Grishuk, how many games did he lose with white? I mean, that is a story of his tournament. He's eliminated, but he lost. He lost his last 3 games against Sophiste, out of 4 with white. And against Kingmate, he scored 1.5 out of 3. He has been struggling with white, and that was too much. Wow. The defending champion is gone. The top seed is gone. A former world champion, Lenier Dominguez, is gone. So we are going to have a new champion this year, for sure. We're going to have a new champion for sure. That is serious. That's exciting because, I mean, I'm rated in the 2600s. A 2600 Grandmaster is probably going to win I mean, somebody else, but most of the Grandmasters left are in the 2600s. It means we have a chance, It means we can take down the big guys once in a while. And that's happened actually more than once in a while this event. So the final 8, Federico Perez-Pons against Jeffrey Chong. Sven Andreasian against Altai Shafarli. Jules Moussard against Ali Morandi. And Alexander Bortnik against Vladislav Artemiev. We have Russia against Ukraine. We have Turkey against France. We have Armenia against Azerbaijan. And we have USA against Argentina. So, final 8. And Alexander Grishuk eliminated. Story of the event, maybe. But you have to say Moussard took his chances. He played aggressively. He took his chances. Definitely Grishuk. I mean, made a lot of today was an off day for him, but he's still extremely dangerous, and he showed why. With black or with white, I mean, especially with black, he was able to find chances. Okay, I'll be right back. Next round starts in 4 minutes. Wanted to remind everybody that tomorrow it's going to be 10-game matches. 5 games of Blitz 3-0, 5 games of Blitz 3 minutes with 2-second increment. Who do you guys think is going to win the tournament? Players left, you got a pretty good chance at guessing the right one. We have 8 different countries, which is pretty cool. In other years, we've had. I remember watching there, a bunch of Russians, or I mean, a lot of Blitz players come from the same countries because they play each other all the time, and then you all get better at Blitz. But this is like a World Cup, 8 countries left. Oh, the games have just started. We are going to follow the match between Federico Perez Ponza and Jeffrey Chong, world junior champion against Argentinian Olympiad member. He's on their national team and a very good Blitz player, and he did very well last year. So let's go here. Wow, they're playing a very theoretical line of the Najdorf. So these two guys, not afraid of theory. I forgot the name of this line, but it's one of the most theoretical lines in all of chess. People don't play this much anymore as black. It's considered too risky. Or with white. Maybe it's with white. I can't remember. In Blitz, I rarely play mainline Najdorf just because I don't want my opponent to have like 30 moves played without thinking. But they are both confident in their theory, and it's been working for them so far. They're in the final 8 after all. So let's see. So, I mean, white gets the initiative here. I mean, it just looks really good for, actually. Looks like white's going to queenside castle and get a serious initiative. I definitely do prefer white. I hope I'm not saying something totally crazy there, since maybe there are some opening experts in the audience who are like, no, this is actually good for black. But I just feel like in Blitz, it's easier to sort of have the initiative here and have the attacking potential and the threats. King H1. I'm expecting King H1 right now. So after knight d4, cd4, black takes, I just move my queen out of the way, and you still have enter. Polu Gajewski, yes, thank you, Cloud Dragon. That's what it's called. He played queen g3. That works as well. Although after f takes g7, there is knight e2 check. Was that a... I liked king h1, but if you take on g7, there is knight g3. I don't think this is what white intended. No. White is just losing now. No, he's not. Knight f6. I missed that. I thought he was going to take the queen. What is going on here? What is going on? Somebody's you cannot play accurately at this with 50 seconds on the clock. So what do you take? Okay, he's taking that. Is there a checkmate for black here? This is insane. I mean, there's so many pieces hanging. Yeah, very hard to commentate on that. I'll tell you one thing though. Put this position in an engine. If you, we will all be. I don't think anybody in Blitz can play the right moves in this position. Black is looking for a checkmate here. His queen is hanging. He wants to play queen d2 check, and rook d3 for. Goes for queen f5. Maybe rook d3 afterwards. So what happens after king takes g3? I didn't see what happened. So king takes g3, queen g5 check, knight g4. Okay, he went for queen e5. Ah, this is an insane game. Federico down to 25 seconds. Rook d2. Oh no, rook takes f3. He's up a rook. Checks are, the bishop has pinned. This is winning for Federico. He's just up a full rook. But, I mean, king e7 protects the bishop, but you can't play bishop h6 because of knight g8 check. And you have no other squares for your bishop, so... Oh, that's it. Last game over. First game goes to Federico Perez Ponza. And I think I agree with my opinion again after the fact that that's too risky of a line to play, but maybe he just messed up theory or something. But it looked like White had a huge initiative for a blitz game. Although it actually turned out that White almost flagged because he had so many moves at his disposal. But, like, what a crazy game for blitz. That's the game that if they had 5 minutes each instead of 3 minutes, they still wouldn't have enough time, or 10 minutes each, they wouldn't have enough time. So Federico Perez Ponza wins game 1 of this best of 4 against Jeffrey Zhang. Apparently, Sophiste lost to Ali Morandi. That's a big upset. You beat Grishuk, and then you lose to the lowest rated in field, who is actually, though, a very good blitz player, clearly, because he's in the final 8. But nobody's safe in this field, that's for sure. With the field, these eight players, I don't know who I'd predict. It's completely wide open. All 8 of them could pretty much win. I was going to say that, yeah, I know most of them as good blitz players. I don't know about Ali Morandi, but clearly he's making a strong impression in his debut here. So we're waiting for the next game between Perez Ponza and Zhang. Let's see what's available. Bortnik loses to Artemiev, and Andrea and Farley have drawn. So game 1 is in the books. That was a win for Perez Ponza, a draw for Andreasian and Safarli, a win for Morandi over Musard, and a win for Artemiev over Bortnik. So 3 decisive results after the first game. And next game has begun. Zhang against Perez Ponza. And Zhang has the white pieces looking to equalize after a disastrous first game in the Najdorf. So we have a Catalan move order. Black usually plays knight e4 in these positions, so then the knight on d7 has can jump to f6. That's a natural square. Yep. 2. So I believe all the players left are in the money. Top 8 get paid. So these guys can be happy with that. It's a good day's work, but it's really that top prize, 4,200 for first place. That's a big payday for any of these grandmasters. So black is playing a5, trying to chip away at the b4 pawn. That might be an isolated pawn. I think he might take on b4 and maybe play something like, I was going to say queen b5. I'm not entirely sure, but seems like black has comfortably equalized. I mean, the knight on d2 doesn't have a lot of squares. It's probably going to have to recycle to f3. Black is extremely solid. Seems like black is equalized. Bishop on b2 is locked in. Yeah, white's recycling that. He wants to play knight e5. He needs to get that bishop on b2 into the game. He needs to fight back in the center. He's done that. Whoa, knight e5, queen e6, knight c6. So if rook, there's knight a7. So you got to play rook a8, yes. Okay, knight on c6 is usually good, but black's got a bishop on d6, which is sort of covering everything. I wouldn't be surprised to see a move like h5. h5 on the board. Knight went back to e5. And seems like Jeffrey needs to find a plan here, though, because he doesn't have... It seems like black has, improved his position a bit more. White's only played with the knight and nothing else. Rook c1 and the queen on c2, really putting any pressure on c7. That pawn on c7 is well defended by the bishop on d6, which is permanently going to be there. And now Perez pawns a... Oh! So if knight a7, what's the tactic? Knight a7. Knight takes g3. Oof, dangerous. Knight a7, knight takes g3. G3 is a threat. Actually, all these knight takes f2 in some positions. You got to be very careful if you're Jeffrey Shong in this position. Oh man, this is bad. If rook e1, bishop takes c6, and knight takes f2, and bishop takes g3 is possible. So rook e1, I just take here. Queen knight takes f2, and I have discovery on g3. Let's see what happened in the game. He had to go knight e5. He has to sacrifice a pawn. That makes a lot of sense. That's very practical. Those positions were looking very risky. But that is a pawn sack. You can... everything. Yep. That's a full pawn for Perez Ponza. Up 10 seconds. Can he take a 2-0 lead? He's playing very, very well so far. He's not letting Jeffrey get his positions. Jeffrey, good technical player. He's a mature player in terms of style. But in the Najdorf, he didn't get to work at all. And in this game, he's actually sort of being outplayed. He didn't get a hint of an advantage with white. Uh-oh. Rook ac1, just missing bishop b3. Jeffrey is getting crushed here. He's losing a rook in exchange now. This is totally over. Perez Ponza is going to take a 2-0 lead. And he finished well last year. That's what I remember. Federico is a specialist in speed chess. One thing that you might find interesting that I learned about him is he's an extremely good Age of Empires player. And Jeffrey has resigned. That's 2-0 for the Argentinian. And so Perez Pons apparently extremely good Age of Empires 2 player, the Conquerors, I believe, the expansion. I love that game. I played it a lot. But apparently one of the best players in the world at Age of Empires. I don't know if anyone here played that game. It's a strategy game. It does require a lot of, speed and strategy, clicking. But I thought that was pretty interesting to hear. I like gaming a lot myself, so I thought that was pretty cool. So 2-0 and a must-win game from Jeffrey at this point. Let's check on Safarli. So this game's still ongoing. Andreasian beats... No, Safarli wins with white against Andreasian. which means he is up 1.5. Artemiev beats Bortnik again. He's up 2-0. That means Alexander Bortnik to win both games to survive, and Jeffrey Zhang needs to win both games to survive. Jules Moussard is down 1.5 to half against Ali Morandi, so he's got to score 1.5 out of the remaining 2 games. Tall task for both Bortnik and because their opponents are just playing well. I mean, cleaner games than a lot of the games we've been seeing for the most part. Okay, game 3 has started in this final 8 quarterfinals, and we're going to see who advances to the final 4. A Najdorf again. So these guys at each other's throats. Sharp poison pawn variation. With I mean, I don't know if there's a term. There's after the h6 bishop h4 inclusion. I've never played this in my life. These guys like this stuff. I've always had a problem remembering theory, and so these lines, if you don't like remembering theory, you can't play these lines. So e4. No, Maxime Bachila grabbed a few games here. But Jeffrey down like him. I mean, why play the Najdorf and Blitz? Because you have to remember so much. Like, isn't this very nice to play for white because you have the initiative? I'm being very critical of the decision because it just doesn't seem practical. You don't have increment. You don't have time to remember theory. You need to it has to be at the tip of your finger. It has to be at your fingertips. Just every move you have to play. Like, you have to really have refreshed it or know the moves. But you're dealing with mate threats all the time. This seems and bishop takes b5. Perez pawns he's going for checkmate. He's going for a 3-0. I mean, Jeffrey's playing extremely risky lines in classical chess. So in blitz, they are just, in my opinion, a no-fly zone. And he's just, I think he's in huge trouble already. I just don't think he has enough time to find the defensive moves that you need to play. Just castle here. Then queen d5. But, I mean, look at the king in the center. The piece is undeveloped. You can't play like this in blitz. I mean, I think in the top players and top events, in blitz events, or when I played in the World Blitz and Rapid a couple of times, almost nobody was doing this, just because I just don't think you have enough time for the most part. But I'd be glad to be proven wrong here. But I personally would get checkmated as black. I'd probably think that I was playing theory and actually forget that I was actually moved 29 instead of 30. That I was supposed to do a certain move and lose and break something in my house. Losing theory is what I hate more than anything else. When you lose without a fight, or you lose because you just messed up the opening. So, I mean, knight d6 check allows black to take with the bishop and maybe castle. Jeffrey just missed that you can en passant. Or no, he had to. No, this is just lost. This looks lost to me. There has to be a move here, but the king is on e8. These games are crazy, by the way. These are funny games to commentate on because, I mean, bishop g3, and after queen takes e4, bishop d3. But the problem is then there's queen takes d4 and bishop c5. Yeah, see what? So f7. Okay, the lines I'm saying, I can't even analyze this. Let's see what happens. Who gets checkmated first? Who flags? Who's going to fall? But Jeffrey he can't have a draw. He has to win this game. He's playing very confidently with that king on d8. And white is looking for a knockout blow. White is tanking. Now, okay, that's a practical decision. You don't see a checkmate. You're low on time. You got to make a move. And Jeffrey takes the first piece available. Now I'm expecting something like uh, knight c3. Knight c3 here. Yes, knight c3 looks very strong. Or even knight takes b5. But he's got to play a move. No. Federico is returning the favor. He's not playing practically. He was before sacrificing, put a lot of pressure. You can't spend this much time. Bishop takes e5 is possible because then you have queen f6 check in the end. You can still take on e5. You can take on e5 right now, and he's done it. But he's got 13 seconds. If he just played quicker, I mean, oof. Knight d4, bishop takes h8. White is winning. Does he have enough time to checkmate? That is the question. If rook f8, bishop d6, or bishop there. What? What? Jeffrey Zhang is just one on demand. Checkmates Federico Perez Ponza. His opening gamble paid off somehow. White pre-move, bishop takes f8, and got checkmated. I guess, I mean, you have to play something like rook e2. I'm sure so many moves were missed. I'm not going to analyze that. But these games are absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts there. Black was definitely lost. Maybe White was lost. But those games, those those crazy open Sicilians. So that's 2-1 now for Perez Ponza. Big news, guys. Ali Morandi has defeated Jules Moussard 2.5-half. He's eliminated him. He's in the final four. As such, that's a big upset. Every single match he's played has been an upset. Is he the first one in the final four? Let's see right now. Well, I think we can't wait for. I think we picked a good match to follow. Perez Ponza and Chong has been the most exciting match of the tournament so far that I've seen. I mean, these guys are just going at it. I mean, Perez Ponza didn't need to take so much time. He was just wanted a checkmate, Jeffrey, it looks like. I mean, he was up 2-0. So all he needed was a draw. He didn't have to, but he was going for that 3-0 knockout and ended up burning way too much time on the clock. And it was just too much fun, those positions. And you tell yourself to play slow, to play quick. It's blitz. But then when the position, you tell yourself that, but when the position appears on the board and you have all these mating possibilities, the instincts some kick in, and you just can't. It's just like you can't help but look for the checkmate, and that's what happened there because all he needed to do was keep pace. He could be down a piece and he'll win that position because the king's in the center. It's just very hard to play for black. But instead, he just looked for the mate, couldn't find it, and got too low on time. Black Horse has won on demand against Artemiev. That match is now 2-1 as well in favor of Artemiev. Artemiev will have white in the final game, and all he needs is a draw. In this match, Jeffrey has white, and he needs to win. Let's get ready to rumble. Final 8 over here, and we are in for a treat. Jeffrey Chong against Federico Perez Ponza, another Sicilian. Who's surprised? I'm not at all. And Jeffrey playing a bit more positionally. I think his brain might be a bit tired of. He's a bit tired, and he will play a bit more positional this game. Because these other games, I mean, even though he won the last game, I thought that was way too risky. Knight e5, queen e2, a very basic position, and some might think, oh, this if you're playing for a win, you don't want to trade things like that. Well, Jeffrey, I think, is a very good positional player, even though he sometimes plays these crazy tactical positions, and I think. This is a good approach. I actually like this rather than the crazy games that have been happening. I think he's very lucky not to be down 3-0 and eliminated and kicked out of the event, eliminated. So I mean, here he's got a bit of an edge, a bit more space in the center. Bishop on f4. It's roughly equal, but it's going to be a maneuvering game. It's just going to be a maneuvering game. Try to provoke some weaknesses, some slow chess. He's up 20 seconds, but I think he's quite good at these slow games. When I play tournaments with him, lately he's pretty good at massaging positions. Black's doing a great job here, though, putting the pawns 5c4, gaining some space of his own, putting also accommodates his dark squared bishop very nicely, and trades are good. Perez Ponza only needs a draw to advance, and he just messed up the last game, got checkmated. Can he control this game? Not let it get out of hand. As it stands, more pieces are getting traded off. Black is getting closer to that draw that he wants. Not much to say, guys. I would say it's very close to around equal. Oh, rook d2. Oh, Jeffrey just blundered rook d2. Uh-oh. This is lost all of a sudden. He just blundered rook d2 because he didn't want to trade off the bishops. Allowed the rook to penetrate the second rank. And this is going to be over. This is going to be over right away. Queen d3 and rook b1 check is the threat in the current position. If king g1, I'll play queen d3 anyways, still threatening rook b1. And this is going to be over very soon. Perez Ponza, I really do expect to convert this e5. What's the idea? There's also rook c2 with the idea of rook c1. But why not? Yeah, e5 first. Rook c1. Rook c2, sorry. What is he thinking about? Rook c2, threatening rook c1. Am I missing something? I don't think I am. Okay, well this wins too. Queen d8, and the queen's going to h4. That's bad. And you can't move the bishop because of rook d1 check. Jeffrey's slowly but surely running out of moves, and queen h4 is a threat, so you don't even have enough time to play a move like rook a8. Only pushes the queen to a good square. Jeffrey didn't play very good this match, but it was very exciting. I mean, I'm sure he feels like he could have done better. He didn't show his best chess, but it was exciting. Queen h4, and now queen h1, and queen takes g2, and mate comes next. Has resigned. Enrico Perez Ponza joins the Final Four. He advances with a 3-1 victory over Jeffrey Xiong. Last year, he made it pretty far as well, and he's definitely one of the favorites, I think, based on his experience. And, well, based on this match, he played very well, too. Didn't make blunders and put a lot of pressure. So the American is eliminated. Let's follow Artemiev against Bortnik. Artemiev. Oh, wow. Bortnik needs to win, and it looks like he is close to that win. Queen e4. Okay, b5. 12 seconds, though. Black horse needs to win. He's got 12 seconds. He's a very, very good bullet player. One of the very best in the world. Artemiev is one of the best blitz players in the world. But look at the speed. Uh-oh. He just blundered. Just blundered the bishop. And Artemiev actually resigns here. He gives respect to his opponent, who's got 5 seconds, which is actually about 50 moves if you pre-move properly. And he thinks, yeah, you'll make me within that time frame. And that means that match is going into overtime. Wow. So after being down 2-0, Bortnik has responded with wins on demand to tie up the match and head into tie breaks. Safarli's match is also headed to tie breaks as they are 2-2. They drew this game. So we have 2 games in the tie breaks right now. And the games just started. Oh, that happened quickly. We are going to follow Black Horse against Sib Elephant, Artemiev against Bortnik. 2 young Eastern European players. Because Eastern European could mean anything, but Russia against Ukraine over here. Pretty heated action. And Bortnik, I mean, this position already looks unique. What happened here? Yeah, these players are not going into heavy theory like our other match. Definitely more creativity here and just moving some pieces and just trying to outplay your opponent in the middle of the game. Yeah, both players aren't very theoretical. D5. So that pawn is pinned because the bishop is hanging. I mean, you could play e5, but then d3 falls. Seems like black is equalizing. Oh, I'm being joined by Federico Perez Ponzo, who did qualify into the Final Four, and we're going to talk to him a little bit. Hey, Federico.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yeah, it's working. So first of all, congrats for qualifying into the Final Four.
Is the webcam working? Not.
No.
Maybe because we are 3. Do you know if I can?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I think my webcam's working.
Yeah, yours is working, but maybe. Wait. Skype says I don't have it connected. Let me check.
So right now, we're still watching this game while Federico gets his webcam. This is Bortnik.
Okay, I think now it's working.
Now it's working. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So first of all, congrats for qualifying to the Final Four. And how was the day? You beat Sevian, then you 2.5, 1.5. No, you didn't have any tiebreakers. Every match was in 4 games. So you had this pretty smooth ride, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm still angry with the third game against Jeffrey because I was so nervous. It was like +10. I was checking with computer. So winning, maybe he forgot the theory or he wanted to do something else. But B5 might be bad. And the other match, I made too many draws. I was surprised with Seb's. I was kind of lucky. He beat Dingliren.
Yeah, that was very.
And my tiebreak was, in theory, better than Dingliren, but he also played very well. But did you see the game, the last game against Seb's?
I didn't see that one. What happened there?
He was forced to win. He had to win the game, and he played some French with G5, like Morsevich, in the classical.
Yeah.
In the last position, I'm giving check with Queen G6, Queen E6, and he need to play King D8 to keep playing. But he accepted the repetition, and we had like 15 seconds. So I don't know why he didn't try it.
Ah, okay. So you just you got a draw out of the opening in that one?
Sorry?
It was just a repetition, but he could have played on, and it still was there was some chances for him.
Yeah. It wasn't in the opening. I mean, in the end, it's like move 41. I'm checking.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was very surprised he took the repetition. I think even if King D8 was losing, he need to.
Yeah, of course. Of course, there's only prizes in the top 8, so you might as well just try everything. So you're playing against Andreasian or Safarli next. Have you played any of these guys?
Are they still playing?
Yeah, tiebreak.
Yes, in internet I played against both. I lost against Andreasian in Kazan 2013.
The Universiad.
We played there. But I think I didn't play too much with him in ICC or another website.
Yeah, they drew their first tiebreak game, so they still have one more to see. Are you surprised at all that all the top players, I mean higher straight-up players, got eliminated?
Yeah,
it's like any...
then Grishuk lost to Musard.
Yes.
And I think also Lanier lost to Black Horse. I don't remember the name. It's Bornik, yeah. But I think those three were like way stronger than the rest.
Yeah.
I don't know who is the fourth, but I think it's not that high rated.
Yeah, no, it's after that everyone sort of has a chance. A lot of good players there, so I don't know what's happening right now. There's an international master from Turkey who is in the Final Four. I don't know if you saw, he beat Musard.
Yeah,
he's beaten everyone. So he's seems very dangerous.
I didn't know him before. I mean, just the name, but even on ICC, I didn't know his name.
What place did you finish last year? I think you made it pretty far in the tournaments.
I remember I lost to Grishuk in 2 editions. The last one, I think it was semifinals or quarter. I think quarters. And 2 years ago or 3, I don't remember, I lost to Grishuk in the final. So
okay. So
at least he's not there anymore.
No, he's not there. So this is the year for you then.
Yeah, I hope so.
And then I was what I was saying. I was commentating on your match against Jeffrey. I was surprised he kept going for the Najdorf. Were you surprised at all, or in Blitz, because you guys were playing some very sharp positions, but it's very dangerous for Black to play in Blitz, I thought, these lines.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. I think he plays a lot of openings,
yeah.
and I really like to play Bishop G5.
Right, exactly. That's what I thought.
I played against Lanier. I played with Black, with White. I think I had a lot of games. So it's like the theory, I know it, and it's fresh. I mean, I don't have to remember.
Right. Because he was getting long time.
Yeah, but in the first one he played this B5 fast. It's Polugajewski.
Yes.
And I didn't remember if I had to play castle or queen d3 first. But then I think he did something wrong, or I'm not sure. But yeah. I prefer to play an idol rather than e4, e5. So it's good.
Right. Exactly. What do you think right now about this match, Black Horse and Artemiev? Are you watching it? I'm just curious what you think. I think this is the final game, and
it's tie breaks, or
in the tie breaks, and Black has to win.
Oh, it seems hard.
He was down 2-0, and he won 2 in a row against Artemiev. So that's how you got tie breaks.
Yeah,
so,
but then he lost.
Then he lost. Yeah, it was because these two guys are both pretty good at blitz. I thought this was a tough pairing. I mean, they're both very good blitz players.
Bortnik doesn't have so much rating. I mean, in classical games, but in blitz he's
very good. Blitz, and I have a question. Yes. No. Time control is 3 minutes with 0 second. Do you prefer this or with increment?
No, of course, with no increment.
Because tomorrow, it's 5 games with increment and 5 games without.
Both? Also the semi-final?
Yes.
I thought it was only the final. Okay.
I think I'll clarify. I think that's
maybe
the case.
Maybe you're right, but
no,
I prefer 3-0. I mean, I think I'm stronger without increment. I can flag, or I'm more used to play 1 minute.
Yeah, exactly. All the 1 minute players like us prefer without increment. But then I was watching Lanier, and he was flagging. Once it's tough for him to play without increment for some of the other players.
But of course, the stronger players should prefer the increment.
Yes.
It's more about how you play, not the flagging.
Exactly. Well, I think that's all. I actually said something on the broadcast. Is it true you're very good at playing at Age of Empires?
Yeah.
I heard that. I play it for fun sometimes. I used to play it a lot, and somebody told me I was streaming it one time. I was playing it in front of people, and people mentioned it. So that's why. And I was like, wow, because I really like Age of Empires. So I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, I played even some important tournaments.
Exactly.
Like Nation Cups. Argentina, I think 2 years ago, we were 3rd in Nation Cups. It was like our best result, but I'm not playing for last 2 years. I stopped. So
no, now you have to focus on chess.
Yeah, also in the university. I'm not playing that much chess. I'm studying accountancy.
Okay.
I might finish this year, so then I will play chess a lot.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, and good luck tomorrow. We hopefully we'll get some more exciting games like you had today.
Okay. Thank you very much, Eric.
See you.
See you.
All right. So we were just watching this match, and once again, Artemiev loses with White. So again, they're headed to another tiebreaker. Big result is Altaj Safarli has beaten Andriazian in their tiebreaker, so he advances. So 3 players are known: Federico Perez Ponza, Altaj Safarli, and Ali Mirandi. The 4th one is Artemiev against Bortnik, and Bortnik seems to be clutch. Every time he's losing, he needs to win, he wins. And that's our last match of the day, actually. let's observe that. 3K. All right, and again, avoiding theory. Both players. These games have been going down to the end game for the most part. Wonder what time it is. Like in Russia, it must be pretty late for these guys now. It's always fun playing Blitz until midnight. I mean, way past midnight. That's what it's all about. You can't stop. Seems like Black just has a very comfortable position. Bortnik really does give his opponents some decent positions. As I said, he doesn't blunder, though. That's one of his strengths. Doesn't blunder a lot. He does get a lot of bad positions, but he's very resourceful, very fast. Just has a lot of good qualities for blitz and bullet chess. Intuitive, good technical skills for converting in terms of not allowing counterplay. So bishop h4. So this knight on c3 is a little bit misplaced. Black is going to play rook c8 and put some pressure on the c file. Otherwise, yeah, white really doesn't have any space advantage here. So Black's giving up the bishop pair. He's going to play rook c8 and knight e5, I expect, at some point. The bishops aren't really good quite yet, so that's why he thought it was okay to give up the bishop pair. I like Black's position. This is a two-game match once again, though. It starts from 0, so who's going to win this one? Artemio's used to leading the match, and all Bortnik needs to do is not lose with white. This match has definitely been a story about people cannot score with white, it seems, as Black has been winning the games this match. But I'll put it this way. The winner of this match, I think, is one of the favorites to win the tournament. I mean, I give them like a 50% chance to win the tournament, whoever wins this match. Out of the last 4 players, I think these two guys are both very dangerous in the format. I guess Artemiev more so, because Black horse when there is no increment. Oh, what happened here? Knight c4, b3, move back. Oh, he just sacrificed the pawn. So yeah, Black is just up a pawn in 30 seconds, but the benefit for white is the position has opened up. So yeah, keep in mind tomorrow it's a 10-game match, and the time control varies a little bit. Rook c7, maybe bishop g3 now, looks natural. There it goes. The bishops are now very good. So giving up that pawn, looking like it wasn't such a silly decision after all, because there seems to be a lot of compensation here. Knight f5 is a good move, though. What, bishop e5 now or something? But Black's looking to trade off pieces, looking to make the position a bit more dry, I guess, because he doesn't need to take risk. He's up a pawn, he just wants to trade things off. g6, rook ac1. Artemiev up 15 seconds. That's critical. He's got to try to maintain the lead on the. But all these guys do not, they blunder. They blunder small. They always stay in the game, and that's why this one is going down to the wire. Rook c7. No, rook c7, bishop takes e5. Oops. Rook takes d4 here is a very good endgame for Black, because then he has queen a1 check in the end, and he'll be up 2 pawns. Okay, rook takes d1. White's probably not going to trade rooks, but either way, I don't agree with him taking a lot of time on this move. He needs to play quicker. Oh, well, now queen a... Oh, no, queen a1 check, queen a3 is defended. That's exactly how... Yeah, look at that. That's a blind spot. I missed the queen on g3. Oops. So king h2, safe move. Rook's on the 7th rank, always dangerous. So white's down a pawn, but now he's up on time. Artemio's going to have to play quicker, because you can easily blunder when your opponent's got a rook on the 7th, and it's only a pawn. It's only a pawn on the king side, so even if the queens are off, this isn't... all over yet. So big decision for white. F4 blocks the queen. F3 not looking pretty. Black's probably going to play H5, H4, and kick that queen away. And just definitely F3 weakens. I mean, F3 maybe Rook C1 as well, and you just threaten Queen G1. So pretty annoying. And he's really trying to provoke. Now F3 is not possible. Queen G1's checkmate, and this is getting worse. So what happens if you trade queens? Oh, it's a time scramble. But Black Horse is down to 8 seconds, and if he can save this, he's a legend. 6 seconds to 20, and he's in a lost endgame. Or very bad endgame. Yep. Black Horse is going to lose this one, and again, he finds himself in a position where he needs to win on demand with Black. Very good. A good job converting by Artemiev. He's like, you have a rook on the 7th, but my queen on d4 is very well placed. So if I just go back a few moves right before they start the next game. So this match is in this second tiebreaker, and the score is now 4-3 for Artemiev, and Bortnik, aka Black Horse, now he needs to win. And he's done that 2 times already, though. Actually, they already started, so. But this conversion didn't give white any counterplay. And here we go. The final, is it going to go into a third tiebreaker? We will find out. Artemiev here needs to just hold with white. He's been getting good positions, but he's been losing these games in the end. He's had the lead every single time this match. This is his 3rd time where all he needs to do is draw to win. We saw this problem plague Alexander Grishuk already. He just kept losing his white until finally somebody actually eliminated him. And here Bortnik playing. Looks like a hybrid. It looks a bit like a King's Indian, like a Pirtz. More like a Pirtz, I should say, sorry, but it came from d4. And the benefit is all the pieces are on the board. The guy needs to win, and so you want to keep the pieces on the board. You want to make it dynamic, keep open the possibilities. He's definitely doing that. Artemiev trying to slow down the position. Makes a lot of sense there. He just needs a draw. Rook c1. Threatening bishop f6 and knight d5, trades off some more. b3, that's safe. I like this position for white. I really don't like the c6 pawn. I like that white has a protected outside pass pawn. Definitely is a big advantage in my opinion. Next thing I want to do is I want to trade off the light squared bishops, so then I can put my knight on c4 and claim that it's a great outpost. The bishop on g7 is worse than the bishop on g5. The passed a pawn is better than the c pawn. I'm really starting to like this position for white, and he's up 20 seconds to boot. So Artemiev right now is doing the right things in order to win this match. Black's not getting f5 in, not getting a lot of counterplay in so far. Okay, maybe f3, bishop f2 is coming. Black wants to trade on Black's going to have to trade on c4 at some point and put the knight on e6 so it can jump to d4. And he's done that immediately. He just sacrificed the pawn, by the way. b4 was hanging. So now he's up 20 seconds and a pawn. But Black's got the knight on d4 and the tactical possibilities that come with that. Queen d6, bishop f8, rook b4. I notice when Bortnik gets a bad position, he often sacrifices a pawn and material to make the position much easier to play, and it's been working out for him so far, rather than getting suffocated to death. 92, 96. So you want to mobilize those that A pawn. It'd be nice to play rook A1 and start pushing it. But I think White's considering to play maybe F3 first, Bishop F2, something like that. But Black horse has got to. I mean, Artemiev has to play a bit faster here. When they get low on time, anything can happen. You don't want to take that risk when you already have a really good position. One thing Artemiev is actually known for is converting. He's I think 18 years old, but he's very mature in how he plays endgames. I'm not sure if that applies to Blitz, but in his classical games, he's actually a great example of a great technical player. Here, he's allowed some counterplay already, but knight c2 looks to trade everything off. No, that's excellent. This is getting closer and closer to a draw. If you're an Artemiev fan, this is a position where I'm pretty sure he knows exactly what to do. Bishop on g7 needs to activate itself immediately. Bishop h6 here, maybe bishop h6. What about bishop h6? Calling for bishop h6. Didn't play it. He played rook b6 instead. Now the pieces are kind of funky on both sides. Okay, the rook corrected itself, but he's still down 10 seconds. What's Artemiev gonna do? Bishop e3, rook c1. Endgames are okay. Just get the queens off the board. If you're white here, maybe make some space for a king so you never blunder a back rank mate. Then there he did it. Okay, excellent. Shift that rook over to the a file and start pushing the a pawn. Yep. Is he going to play f3? Oh. Now it's 4-on-3 on the king side, 2-on-0 on the queen side. Who's going to come first? Definitely looks like white. Black horse. Clock is ticking. Oh, and now this is it. I do not believe he has any chances to win the game. 2 rooks beats a queen when you got this outside passed pawn. I mean, the queen is just a passive piece. It might as well, be somewhere else. That's not where a queen should be. Push. You can push again. Yep. Queen a7. And you can never win without your best piece. Artemiev can actually repeat, but instead... Oh, let's see what's happening. And he's getting a queen here. Converts it. So Artemiev is the last player in the semifinals. He beats Bortnik 2-0 in the second tiebreaker, so he won the match 5-3. And this game was maybe his smoothest. So 18-year-old Artemiev, he's rated close, 2670, 2680 FIDE. He is not the highest rated player, I think, left. Altaj Safarli is also close around that rating. I think those two guys are the highest rated by FIDE, but they're in different brackets. So tomorrow's matchup, as a result, is going to be in the top bracket, Perez Panza. He will be playing against Safarli from Azerbaijan, Argentina against Azerbaijan, and Ali Morandi from Turkey, an international master who has upset all 3 opponents he played today. He's playing against Ladislav Artemiev. That's in the lower bracket. Morandi is rated about 2480 FIDE. So strong IM, but definitely performing way higher than that in the tournament so far. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, I think that's when we have the final 4. Let's see. And the format's going to be different, as I said, 10-game matches, 5 games of 3 minutes, just pure 3-minute chess, 5 games of 3-minute 2-second increment. So pick your favorite, sit back, relax, tune in tomorrow to see who wins the $4,200 first prize. And I mean, we're gonna have a new champion this year. Definitely a name that most people haven't heard of is probably gonna win. I mean, nobody in the remaining field has ever won this event before, and none of them are like top players, but they've all won 3 matches today against worthy opponents. And so we have the knockout semifinals tomorrow. See any last things over here? All right, guys, I think that's it. So I'll see everyone tomorrow. We got the semifinals and the finals of the 2017 ICC Open. 10-game matches tomorrow, so you don't want to miss that. Take care, and see you guys soon.